Hey everybody, welcome to the Jim Master Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show Series. Hey, Kevin is in the house. High five, Kevin. We did it.
What's happening?
We did it. He
What's
is
happening?
here. I tell you, you don't have any idea, gang, what we went through to put this together to make the technology work. Sometimes it has a
Woo!
mind of its own, right?
Sure does. Sure does.
And we've both, you and I, have been in television studios and stages and all of this. And yet sometimes some of the most basic things can get a little crazy. It's
That's right.
I tell you, welcome everybody. I'm your host, Jim Masters. This is the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show Series, where we're bringing back that lost art of conversation. Our very special guest is the one and only Kevin Eubanks, acclaimed guitarist, composer, TV personality, and so much more. You know him, of course, some 18 years as music director for The Tonight Show on NBC with Jay Leno. And as a matter of fact, he's also in a hit game show right now, co-hosting with Jay Leno once again. They've been paired up with Fox's hit TV series, The Fantastic Game Show, You Bet Your Life, which is sort of a play on the old Groucho Marx series of yesteryear. And he's having a good time as a co-host, lots of laughs. And I tell you, you've been doing this for a long time, my friend, haven't you? Going all the way back to Philadelphia, the city of brotherly love.
Woo! Philly. Man, I'm headed to Philly tomorrow, man.
Are you really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Wow.
I think I'm going to go. Not totally, but I'm leaning towards it.
Do you still have family there back home in on the East Coast and in the Philly area?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
My brothers are there and mom's there, So it's nice to get back to Philly sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
If I don't go tomorrow, I'll be going there soon.
Right, exactly. That's really cool. I know. If I knew you were coming to Philly, we could have driven south, met you in Philly, and just did the show there.
That would have been great. That would have been great.
For those tuning in just now, Kevin is a legendary guitarist, prolific composer, well known again by many as the former music director for the Tonight Show band, of course, appearing on the show 18 years. As we know, his laid-back style. Fortunately, he and I are both laid back, easy, calm. That's how we were able to put this together tonight,
right?
With the technical stuff. Most people would be flying off the handle, slamming doors, all the rest. Not us. His affability, of course, is what people really enjoy too. It's made him successful both as a consummate musician and a household name for late night TV viewers for years. And as I mentioned, Philadelphia was born into a musical household as well. Your mother, a gospel and classical pianist and organist with a master's degree in music education, right, Kevin?
Yeah, that's right. With my mom and her whole side of the family. We're all into music. My uncle Ray Bryant has played with so many people, from Train to, with so many people. And when I was growing up, I didn't know how great my Uncle Ray was. And we started finding all his records everywhere.
Yeah, Ray Bryant.
And then go see him play, and all the people that he's played with.
John Coltrane, Sarah Vaughan, Miles Davis, Sonny Rollins, and not to mention the hit records of his own. So that sort of gave you that early introduction, exposure to world-class music in your formative years, right?
Yeah. When they played in Philadelphia, he would bring all the singers over to my mom's house because she had the piano that was in tune. So everything just went really well. And I would just watch everybody practice. And I didn't know what I was looking for. It was just interesting to see everything going on. But I had no idea what was going on.
What was going on? You were just hearing all this great music, and it was exciting. Yeah. And what a training ground to sort of have, right there like that, all around you with the family. I mean, that's really, really cool and very, very special. Now, I know too that, and I did too, I think it was in 7th grade, I took it up for a while, violin. You began violin lessons really early, and it was your first instrument at age 7. So I was, 7th grade is around 13 or so. That's when I did violin, but you started even earlier at 7. And
Yeah.
I think I heard once that you said you almost wish that you stayed with the violin too, huh?
Yeah, I wish I did stay with violin, not to to stop playing guitar, but if I had enough focus and energy to do both, I think it would have been challenging, but I wish I would have stayed with violin because I still love violin music. I still listen
Yeah.
to a lot of it. I still check out a lot of violin music that I put on guitar for just for practicing and etudes and things like that. So it if I would have kept them together,
Yeah.
but that's a tough one to do, violin
Yeah.
and guitar. So, but if I mean, imagine if I actually pulled that off, that would have been so much fun for me to do both things. That would have been great. But I stopped playing violin after 7 years, and
Yeah.
that's one of the things that I regret trying to do is I should have stayed with violin.
Well, what was it that lured you away from the violin and towards the guitar? Was it towards the guitar or was there another instrument in between? I know your brother
Well,
was a trombonist, arranger. He's a
yeah,
tenured
Robinson.
professor. Yeah,
Yeah,
Robin.
Robin's amazing.
Yeah,
He's
he's
you
something.
never would think the things that would come out of the trombone that Robin does. I mean, people give him saxophone parts. If the sax player wasn't there, they just give him the the saxophone part, and he plays it. He's amazing, really.
Yeah.
And his
And Dwayne too
arranging
is
is
teaching people too, right? You're
right. Dwayne's doing a lot of things and trying to get younger musicians to focus and to be serious about what they're doing. So, in your formative years, it's good to get those things out of the way so you have good study habits, good
right.
performance habits, and things like that. So, but all of that really came from my mother. Here, my mother practiced and teaching piano lessons and organ lessons since before we were born. She was doing that. So when we came up in that, we didn't think of it as something great. It was just something that we experienced every you know during the week, going to when she's practicing with the church choirs.
Yeah.
She would practice a whole lot of classical music. For a lot of it was just because she loved doing it. So I started copying a lot of Bach two-part
Mm,
inventions when I was a kid, but I had no idea. It was just some more music. And
right.
later on, you start compartmentalizing everything. Oh, this is gospel music, and this is classical music, and this is Baroque music, or this is. But when you're a child, one of the most beautiful things that for children and babies, that everything that comes in is they're happy about it. So all the energy that comes in, you take it in. You don't
Right.
say, oh, I don't like that, or I like this, but I don't like that. But the younger you are, the more you accept everything that's around you. So that starts to go away a little bit as you come up in society because this is more popular than that, and that is less popular, and then you start falling into these categories, which really stifles your ability to feel an attitude that's a 360 type of attitude because it's just some more music. It's,
Right.
say, oh, I don't want to listen to country music. But then when you start meeting musicians that are in jazz, that are in classical, that are in country music, wow, this is fun. That's one of the beautiful ways to get yourself into different genres of music is
Yeah.
if you get a friend, another musician that's playing these different, styles of music, and you play with them. All of a sudden, just the natural affinity of people becoming friends, you start to understand what they're doing, and you start listening to it more, and you gravitate towards it.
Yeah. Who were some of the folks that you were gravitating towards and that you were enjoying as you were coming up the ranks over the years, Kevin?
You mean once I started in New York, once a career started, or before that?
Or even
Uh,
before when you were a kid coming up?
and that was always, as a kid, it was just buying more and more records. And I was doing gigs with, neighborhood bands, which was one of the most fun things in Philadelphia. There are bands every place.
So much
And
music has come out of Philadelphia. It's incredible.
yeah, yeah, it was such a blessing to deal with all that. So I would just have enough when we do proms and dances, battle of the bands of this neighborhood and that neighborhood, but it was all in fun.
Yeah.
And it was mostly I was into funk music and, well, playing violin, I was into classical music too. And when I started getting more and more into guitar, it was just mostly all about having a lot of fun. And then I started getting a little bit more, just a little bit more serious about, well, what is that? I hear
Yeah.
something on a record and I go, what is that? What is that chord? Or what is, how does that person do that? And then started scratching up all the records, trying to move it backwards to get to play over again, play it over again. But,
Hmm.
being a kid and you make 35 bucks because you're playing a prom or an after prom or a wedding or a fashion show, anything, you're just a
Hmm.
kid. So I didn't have anything else to spend the money on except buying more records, more records, more records, going whatever band is in town, going the Spectrum to see all these different groups from Zappa to Mob Vision Orchestra, John McLaughlin, just anything that was music, I was running out the door to get it. So all of that gave me energy to want to just it was hard to separate having fun and having a focus on learning more and more and more about it. And that's probably what brought me more into jazz because I wanted to understand what harmony was and the scales and all of the things that people look at as a technical thing. But most of it is the things that you hear. And
Hmm.
when you go to school and they teach it to you, then you start putting titles for everything. But it comes in it comes into your listening ability that happens before, I think, in in a good way, that you hear the music first and then you
Right.
give it a title, then you write it down and say this is a C sharp and this goes to that or this goes to that. But if you feel it first, then that gives you a lot of energy to go towards that and to keep going after it and after it and after it. When you to this day, when I hear something that I'm like, wow, what's going on? Whether it's a saxophone, a guitar, a piano, whatever, they go, what is that? And I'm listening to a lot of flamenco music, and just because it sounds wonderful. But
Yeah.
then when I start learning it, it's not as exciting anymore. It's kind of like the first time you eat ice cream, you go, "Whoa, this is
Yeah.
great."
Yeah.
And then after you've had it 20 times, you go,
Right.
I'll get some, and
Right.
you try to, stay open and have a fresh mind about things. Because I learned something that a guitar player is doing it, and I said, "Oh, I want to learn that." Is it detuning it? Is it coming from this? And then once I learn it, 2 weeks later on, I stopped playing it because, oh, I got it, and
Mm.
it was like a challenge that I got it, and and then I let it go. I think some things about that is good because you don't really want to plagiarize somebody's things, so
Right.
it gets in you, and you just let it be. I don't want to just keep going on about that, but
No, that's
it's
fantastic. Yeah. That's like music 101 you're sharing. Yeah. That's really, really cool. Speaking of that and education, then you went on to the Berkeley College of Music in Boston, which is a fantastic school. I have a lot of friends who went there. You
oh
also
yeah,
received an
yeah,
honorary doctorate degree too, and even an
right,
honorary doctorate degree from the University of Redlands in California too, which is fantastic. But tell us,
yeah,
you studied trumpet before making the commitment to the guitar, which
right.
solidified the entrance to Berkeley, right?
Yeah. Back then, there wasn't as many colleges that you could play guitar and go in there. to different universities unless you played classical guitar. So I was playing trumpet in order to get into college because you could always go there and play a brass instrument or woodwind, or as they call it, a string, from cello, violin, viola, but for guitar, jazz guitar, funk guitar, rock guitar, all of that wasn't really taken that way. So you had to do your best to get into the school to begin with. So I was playing trumpet to get into the universities, but I was not good at it. It just was not good. It was hurting in my armature, but I love trumpet. I love Freddie Hubbard and people like that, and Lee Morgan, and it sounded great. So,
Yeah.
but I wasn't good at it, and I just kept playing guitar. And then I found out that there were just a few schools back then. We're talking like the
Right.
late 70s, mid 70s on,
Right.
and
Yeah.
you couldn't go to that many schools, so Berkeley was one of them. So I wound up going there.
Which is fantastic. And then that sort of kicked things off for you moving to the Big Apple. And when you came out of the school and went to New York, that's where the career really started to kick off, right, Kevin? Because you started playing with some of the greats of jazz, like Art Blakey and Slide Hampton,
Hmm.
McCoy Tyner, Sam Rivers, Ray Hines, Dave Holland, Ron Carter, and many,
Yeah,
many others, and started working in the bands too, right?
right, right. And that
Wow.
really kind of started at Berkeley, because while I was at Berkeley is when I started playing with Art Blakey, and it was a great band. I mean, everybody was in that band. I mean, there was so many great players in that
Yeah.
group.
Yeah.
And my brother was in there. Winton and Bradford were in there.
That's right.
Charles
Marsalis. Yeah.
Fambrow. Bobby Watson. He was the music director then. So it was so much. So we were on this, tour, and when the tour was over, and I had to go back to school. It was hard to focus in the classroom anymore.
Yeah.
We were having music appreciation, and I said, "Well, that's Art Blakey's band," and I just came off the road with Art's band, and I thought that was really funny. I said, "Do I have to stay here? Do I have to take this class? Can I just switch to a different class because
Yeah.
they're out there in New York? I want to go to New York if I really want to, appreciate the music where it's coming from." I
Right.
said, "I got to go to New York." It's weird to come back and listen to it and dissect it in a class, which is a great thing to do.
Yeah.
But once you've actually experienced it with them, you just want to have more of the experience, more and more and more. So it was tough to stay focused in school. So when that was done, going to New York as soon as possible, and
And working
but
with
that started everything.
that started everything. And then getting a chance to have exposure to some of the other greats in the industry. Again, that's sort of like an incredible training ground for you on so many different levels, right?
Oh yeah, it's um, it's really strange when you try to go to every club, and I was still into a lot of funk music and this and that, but I was really trying to understand the harmonies and scales and all these other things. And that would remind me of my mom, listening to her practice all the time, trying to break through with some things. So I started doing the same type of thing while you're absolutely broke. I
Right.
mean, you can't buy anything. You're so broke, you know. And I would go to a club and hear some of the greatest piano players in my favorite club in New York was called Bradley's,
Hmm.
and they take pity on me. I'd sit at the end of the bar, and they would let me, they would pour me a half a beer, and I would just sit there the whole night and listening to the most incredible piano players.
Yeah.
And I grew up listening to piano, obviously, with my mom and
Yeah.
Ray and
Right.
everything. So And then after a while, they just started letting, we were the youngsters then coming in to the town, and they would say, just sit over here. And, they let you stay.
Incredible.
And then you start meeting more people, and, but you were still broke. You're still trying to get back to Brooklyn on the subway. And I lived on falafels and pizza
Yeah,
for a long time.
for a long time.
I mean, you're still getting to play with people, but
But
you weren't, you still got to pay rent.
when the
You got to
lights
do
went
all,
off, then you go back to
yeah,
reality, right? It's
yeah.
it's
You
the
got to
way
buy
it is.
strings, you gotta keep your guitar in shape. You got to do this,
The
and
equipment, the maintenance of it all. Exactly.
yeah,
People don't a lot of people don't realize. You know what's also cool? I don't know if a lot of people realize this, but when I was doing the research, and again, it's so great to have you here. I know you were excited to come on, and I was very excited to have you here. I've always admired your work and also your personality too, just in seeing you do your thing, whether on stage, in concert, studio, or even on television. I think
hmm,
your way is very comforting for everybody. Television, especially the Tonight Show with Jay Leno, You Bet Your Life, the game show, and other things as well.
right,
Working in the industry myself, it can be very crazy, last minute, frenetic, nutty.
yeah,
And when you have
yeah,
people around that sort of just go with it, and maybe inside you might be like, "Do, do, 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 do," but the outer appearance is that it's calm and cool and collected. It's very
right,
reassuring for everybody. And I've always noticed that about you and plugged into that with you, because even when you play, it's like that, because I'm very similar personality wise to that. And I think it's an
right,
advantage in a way, because again, there could be fires and floods going on all around you, and you're there sort of as like this steady, calming force. Where do you think that comes from? Your parents that way, or what does that ease that you seem to have come from for you, Kevin?
I think it's growing up in a town like Philly where everybody played music all the time. We played a lot of basketball. We were at the schoolyard all the time, but playing music was just so much fun that I think that just sticks with you, whatever you're doing. And if I'm not having fun, which doesn't mean that you're not focused and you're not studying really hard because you have to. If you want to get from this point to that point, if you're hearing music in your head and you can't hear it on your instrument, you have to break through that. I'm hearing it, but I can't play it, so you have to focus, and then it gives you a sense of confidence and happiness when you get to the next level of wherever you're at. And
Yeah.
all your friends are musicians, and musicians have a lot of fun. We I mean, that's just part of the music. And as you get more and more into your career, you still want to have fun when you're doing it. You want to play, of course, you want to play as well as you can. And but having a natural sense of, wow, how lucky are we to
Yeah.
be able to still be playing that? And it has to put a smile on your heart.
Yeah.
And it's because I watch, musicians, and sometimes myself. So I watch some videos of myself, and I look so angry when I'm playing, and I'm like, why do you look so pissed off?
Focused
Why do
and
you look so mean? I'm like, and then as soon as I'm done, I'm like, whoa, that was so much fun. But it's like, man, can you like, tone it down a little bit? You're all angry, looking at the floor. No, I'm looking at my guitar. So, and then once I started working with Jay, with comics, I met all different comics, and all of that really, you start to comedy is just part of it. So we got along really good with that, and I mean, it's just fun. But people think that, well, why are you laughing so much? Why is like, because I'm blessed to be able to laugh through
yeah.
things and to
Right.
do stuff like that. I mean, that's that you don't want to let that go, and it
No.
keeps you. I don't know. It keeps you
Grounded
moving,
and
or
moving
yeah,
forward. Exactly.
you know,
In addition to, and we'll talk about the Tonight Show and all, and then You Bet Your Life and all the other cool things that you've done and that you're doing. But something else that folks might not necessarily know, might not be on the tip of their tongues, is in addition to doing
No, come
everything.
back. Where did it go?
Do you see us?
No.
Are you gone? Oh, you froze. You're well. You left at least with the smile. You're good now.
Yeah,
You're back, right? But you know what it was? I think it was a test to see probably how long you could smile, because it froze when you were smiling. You were like, because you were just talking about how you will play and you get so serious sometimes you're not smiling, and you just had about 10 seconds of frozen smile.
Man.
So on this end, it looked fine. It was just a nice headshot, frozen spot of you. Yeah, you didn't have your mouth open or anything. That's usually when Wi-Fi freezes, when somebody's going, I was saying that one of the things that people might not realize too is, in addition to, everything else that you had done early on, you became the leader of your own group, and you traveled to Jordan and Pakistan, India, Kuwait on tours sponsored by the U.S. State Department, as well as European jazz circuit, which many of the artists frequent as well. Tell us about some of that experience. That was very cool.
Well, that's one of the beautiful things of if you become a musician. I mean, there's other sports that and people different whatever their jobs are. If you're fortunate enough that that's part of your job is to travel, you get to see so many things, and that starts to help your music. Probably whatever it is that you do for a living, just seeing different people from different countries, and you go back there next year, you do the same thing, and you start really understanding that you have to see stuff for yourself. Seeing a picture of it is one thing, seeing it on television is one thing. All of that gives you a hint of what things are, but once you go there, and you're going there with music, so you're presenting something. You're not just going there. It's not just a vacation. It can feel like that sometimes, which is, very lucky. But you kind of say, I'm bringing this to your country too. I'm not just here to just try and make a living at the same time. But you start to see people, and then you bringing a gift to them, which is your music. So all of that, you start to share things. So you don't really look at if you're in. I mean, you could be. It's so strange now because all the things that are going on around the world, people don't want to hear you say that you were in Afghanistan, or that you were in Russia, or that you're in this and that. You don't want to hear that, but no, there's really, things are still going on. People, there are musicians there. I mean, I was in Turkey once, and I had my guitar. This guy has this huge rifle. But he's security for the airport.
Right.
So you're there, and he says, "Guitar? That's a guitar?" And I said, "Yeah." He says, and he's got this huge rifle, it's like on his back, it's strapped around. He says. And he just says, "Can I see it?" And I said, yeah. Do you play? He says, "Well," I said, "I'm gonna take it out, man. Check it out." And he's bending down the rifle and bending over it. And he had no thought about, he just was, "Oh man, that's a real guitar. Oh, that's great." I said, "Go ahead, you can pluck it," And he looks around because he's working.
Yeah.
So. But those kind of moments, that this person, if he was somewhere else, and if I was where he is, it would just be the same thing. But we both were turned on by an instrument.
Right.
So
music brings people together. Music heals. Yeah. Music's the universal language, right?
Yeah.
On so many levels.
It's difficult to go to different countries, even if you don't speak the language, but you have the language of music. Like scientists say that math connects everything, and music connects people, and they treat you differently, and you get used to meeting different people and things like that. It's a wonderful thing. It's like a magic carpet ride or something.
Yeah. It really, really is when you think about it. Your first album as a leader guitarist was released on Elektra when you were
Right.
25, right? Documented as a sophisticated, nuanced
Wow. Was
voice on the
that?
instrument. Tell us
Was
about
that?
that.
Was that? That's how old I was when that? Felt like I
Yeah.
was younger. Maybe just because I didn't know anything. Um, it just felt. Um, I guess so. 24, 25, I guess.
It's
Wow, a
amazing,
lot
isn't it?
happened between 24, 25 to 35.
I tell
That
you.
was a lot that went on because I did a
Oh,
lot of records in the 80s with GRP, Dave Grusin and Larry Rosen. First was with Bruce Lundvall. His first one. Man, a lot of stuff went on. I always
ah,
felt like
you've done all
thought I was
kinds of
younger.
stuff.
You know, don't ever do that. What that's up there. If you have a friend from high school takes over the art direction when I was with
Yes.
GRP, and we broke up Champagne,
And he did that
and
for you?
no, this was like the art director said, "Kevin, I have a surprise for you," and and she walks in. God, what was her name? It'll come to me.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
we broke out Champagne, and we
Yeah.
like haven't seen you since high school, and here you are in New York,
Yeah.
and said he's gonna let me be the art director for like what? So don't do it. Don't let
Don't
them
let
give
them. Yeah.
no.
Isn't that funny?
And a friend of mine, Tony, she drew that, she painted that, and I was just having such a fun time
Oh,
during those
yeah.
years in New York, and
This is a great one
the
too. Here.
yeah,
Yeah.
Shadow Prophets. A lot of people really loves that record.
Yeah. We're
Felt
showing
really
some of them
good,
over the years.
and that's the one that don't do this. Don't
So
don't put glycerin on your arms.
like
Don't
this
do that.
and
And this
that and
one's
that
Tony's.
whole
Some people still hold that up and they go, Kevin,
oh,
is
yeah.
that you?
It's
People still laugh at me with that. So if I was having a blast. And,
but
look,
hey,
oh my God.
it's all about
It's
the music contained
it was
within,
so
right?
much fun.
This was
And
live at Bradley's, huh?
yeah, that's my favorite. That was my favorite club in New York was Bradley's. It
Yeah.
was, people don't look at that cover and then they see me with glycerin on my arms and
They
say, "Are
say
you
it's the
serious?"
same person.
Yeah, just enjoy yourself. Why do we have
That's
to,
it.
you know? So, and that one, oh, that was a great record. That was a really good one.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
one, except starting to get that serious look in my face on that
Yeah.
one.
Now you're getting that
You
serious,
know?
determined, focused sort of.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
that was one of my favorite records that I did. That's one of them. Yeah.
And these are all available. People can go to like Spotify, Amazon, everywhere. They can get all this music, right, Kevin?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's all out there.
All of that stuff.
The
The
Messenger.
technology of things is so, man, don't get me started
This
about
was great.
technology.
Duets with Stanley Jordan. Yeah.
Yeah. We had a great time. Stanley and I known each other since the 80s. We've been friends ever since. And we always talked about a lot of things. And then finally one day, oh, let's just do some shows together. And we put a record together. So wow, man, I had hair, man.
We've got proof.
Wow,
We've got proof.
man.
Yeah.
I miss having, I miss not having hair. That's a good one, face to face. This one, this
These are
one, half of the in that record, the
that's like
bass player.
1978 there. Yeah. That shot.
God,
That's 78. 1978. You've been doing this
woo,
over 40 years, my friend. Yeah, it's amazing,
been a
huh?
long time.
I tell you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Music is amazing. All the people you meet, and and being at the Tonight Show. I'll just be doing the anthem for the
For
76ers.
the Philadelphia 76ers, right? Coming back
Yeah.
home, and isn't that cool? What was that
Oh, what?
like? Doing the anthem on guitar for
Oh, I
the
love
hometown
doing that.
team, the
Yeah,
76ers.
Iverson was on the team. I was doing, it was nice.
Yeah.
I love doing the anthem for sports events. I do the
Ah,
Dodgers. I've done the Dodgers maybe about 4 or 5 times, I
yes.
think. And
Yeah.
Phoenix Suns. For some reason, they were calling me from Phoenix Suns to do the anthem a few times. And I said, I'm a Sixers fan. said, well, they're not playing tonight, so you know, you don't have to worry about it. And it's just fun to do that, and how to get the emotional music that will fit when people are, you know, because you don't want to just do it the same way as it's always done. So you put a
Right.
lot of space between each of the notes, so they
Yeah.
just get quiet,
Right.
and you keep going with it, and it's like, no, we're talking to you about it, you know, feel it. So
Yes.
it's fun to do that, you know.
Absolutely right. Yeah. You know, it's when you were when you did that first album, uh that was very well received. You were with, you mentioned Dave Gruss and the GRP label owned by Dave and the late
Right.
Larry Rosen. The
Hmm.
Based on your compositions, it gained you sort of like this incredible wide-ranging audience because of the extensive radio airplay and touring. And then people
Hmm.
started to notice your incredible skill on both acoustic and electric. You became
Right.
full-time band leader, traveled throughout the world with the group, and then you
Right.
started a series of albums with Blue Note as well, right? Which
Yeah.
one of them, Live at
Yeah.
Bradley's, we just showed, was one of them.
Right.
And then in '92, here comes the West Coast. How did that happen? That '92, moving to the West Coast to join the Tonight Show band with Jay Leno. How did that
Yeah.
all? Was that a phone
Yeah.
call? And hey, we've heard about you, kid. Come west. How did that happen?
Right. I was on the road, and a really good friend of mine, we were at school together, Branford Marcellus, sax player, right? And so he says, Kevin, we're putting a band together to to do the Tonight Show. You know, I need a guitar player. You should do it. And I said, yeah, okay. I wasn't even, I was still on the road just doing stuff. And I said, yeah, okay, fine. And let's do it. And so I didn't really take it that seriously. Um, and I guess maybe 6 or 7 months went by, and I kind of didn't think about it that much anymore. And I saw Branford again at another gig we were both on, and he said, "Hey, bro, we're leaving in 2 weeks to go out to the West Coast." I said, "What?" And that was it. I I took off for LA just like that. It was that fast.
Isn't that
And before you know it,
incredible?
we were doing test shows for the Tonight Show and writing out arrangements and things like that. And before you know it, we were just doing it.
You were just
And,
doing it. And what was that? I mean, that's a whole elevation of stratosphere in terms of just notoriety, and people also really getting a chance to see you, you know,
hmm.
in the role that they know you of as a brilliant musician and more composer and all. But now you're on air on television on a beloved series on network, The Tonight
Right,
Show, Steve
right.
Allen, Johnny Carson, Jay Leno. I mean, all these greats, and here you are, and it's incredible. And I mean, just previously was really Doc Severinsen, right? When it was Johnny.
Yeah.
So from
Oh,
Doc
yeah.
Severinsen to, which is incredible, and here you are, and what was that feeling like? You know, I'm sure there's nerves and you want it to work out and everything, but um,
Yeah.
what was that? What was that like for you, especially in the beginning? Did you slip
Well,
comfortably right into the role, or did you have to
Um,
find your place?
I think I kind of just fell into it, but I
Yeah,
was just really, really nervous and shy about being a music director and running a band and the whole music department. Um, so it's something you get used to, especially if you're doing it every day. You
yeah,
start to get a little bit more. It's like learning how to swim.
right.
In order to really learn how to swim, you have to be in the water.
Yep,
You know, the more you're in the water, the more comfortable you are in the water, and you start to take it easy and comfortably and get
yeah,
calm, and that helps you swim. So the same thing happens with at the Tonight Show. We're doing it every day, so you get it was 47 weeks a year, five
yeah,
days a week. So you get used to it. So you get over the anxiety of it, or at least I was, because I was always a shy kid anyway. And so little by little, and then I had some friends of mine from Berkeley that I
Yeah.
asked, that, Ralph Moreland, sax, Jerry Ekins, those, people that I went to school with, said, man, you guys won't believe this. Need some people in the band. It's tonight's show. I said, what? I said, yeah. And, I'm the music director. So if you guys want to come in. So it all started to fall into place. Jay was really, really open to it. He made it way easier for me. He says, "Oh, just do what you feel like doing. Just play the music you feel you want to play that will help the show, and we'll do stuff together." We started doing skits together. We started doing
Yeah.
more and more together, and then we just started bantering back and forth. He was so easy to work with,
Yeah.
and it just made it so much more fun because I stopped being nervous about it, and we got along so good at doing things together, all kinds of things. We even went to Afghanistan together for troops and things like that. I mean, it just all came in to part as being part of the show, and you meet all kinds of people: Willie Nelson, BB King, Buddy Guy, Dolly Parton, you name it, and you play with them, Prince. So all of that just became a part of it. I mean, that is an amazing job to have for that many years as well.
Yeah. So like
And
18 or so, right? I mean,
yeah,
that's
18
in this
years.
industry, that's a long spread. Yeah,
I
absolutely.
mean, that
That's
doesn't
like
happen very often.
I was going to say that's above the national average for sure.
Woo! It was so much fun, and so many experiences that you have in it too, and you start to learn about different things, about how television works,
Yes.
how you do things, and how when that old saying, "The show must go on," you start to really understand that. And I started to feel the same way about doing shows with my group.
Yeah.
That when I would go to do a show with the band, I would always feel, and this was from a Nat Cole biography that I read too, and I understood finally what he meant.
Yeah.
That the people that are in the audience, they work all week to come hear some music that they want, to enjoy their evening with, and you're the ones up there. So you want it to be a good experience to
Yeah.
the audience. They work hard to be there in front of
Right.
you. And so you want to respect them. You want them to go out that they had it, they felt good about what they were doing. And in a lot of these places, they're not that cheap. You
Right.
have to spend money to get through the door, park your car, especially if you're in New York. Um, who knows? Not just New York, maybe just because I spend a lot of time in New York, but
Yeah.
you
These
want
days
the
anywhere with this inflation, it's
for,
expensive in Duluth.
right. First, you got to put gas in the car first
Yeah,
if you
everything now,
get
forget
that
about it.
far, you
$20
know.
for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich.
So in that Cole, in his biography, he says, "I want the everyday person, that works, that keeps the whole system going.
Yeah,
We want to respect these people. We want to show that they, if it's not for them being here, we wouldn't be here doing it. So when I'm doing a show with somebody, I want to make sure that the show must go on, but not just must go on. It must happen with feeling, and you want to embrace the audience and what they're
yes.
doing. It's
Well, that's
reciprocal. The whole thing.
absolutely. Well, I got
You
to tell
know.
you, as watching you guys do your thing on the Tonight Show with Jay, um, you obviously had this rapport, this great banter, and I could
Right.
still hear your laugh. You have a fantastic sort of laid back laugh. It's really fantastic, and it just
Right.
added to the entire thing. And now you see, it's kind of like you guys, like Doc and Johnny sort of set a tone, and then you guys had your tone, you and Jay Leno, and
Right.
now you see that it's become sort of like a regular thing now, like with
Right.
Jimmy Fallon and the Roots and John Baptiste with
Right.
Stephen Colbert. That's been enhanced. I think you guys took what Doc and Johnny had and Tommy Newsom
Mm-hmm.
and then sort of expanded on it. Now it's like the thing with other shows
Right.
that are like late night talk shows and other things, to have the rapport with the music director, the band leader, with the, Arsenio was doing it too, which I think is great. Did you feel
Right.
at all like when you were now on The Tonight Show, did you feel the sense of the legend of it and like responsibility and like, my God, this is like the one of the most iconic shows on this entire network, and here we are.
Right.
Did you feel any of the weight or impose any of that weight on yourself as far as
Uh,
the show iconic nature?
in a different way. I didn't feel that when I was on. It started. It would get into my mind, and I would watch, Johnny Carson, clips and Doc, and the band was so good, and but when I'm there in the studio doing it, it was just free. I didn't think about it, doing
Right.
it the way it was done. It was
Right.
just have a blast doing it. It's fun. You got some of your crew from college.
Yeah.
Jay is believing in me, and he said, let's just do it. Let's have a fun time, but be exacting what we're doing. All the things that we did learn, put it to work here. So I want to add to the legacy of all of that in a really great way. I wanted to,
Hmm.
so then the other, when Letterman and we were gone. So the things that are happening now in late night, it's everything moves into the
It
next thing,
does.
into the next
Right.
thing, and the next thing, and it feels great. I love seeing Questlove there and John Baptiste
Yeah.
and Mike Bearden, who was with Lopez, right?
Right.
And
And like
so
I said, Letterman and Paul Schaefer, and yeah, right,
mhm.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's it just it's a wonderful thing, and it's something that I would encourage musicians to do, is to pick up the phone and call the people that made it possible for you doing what you're doing. Every now and
yes.
then I'll call George Benson and say, without George, he had that, on
Yeah.
Broadway, had this
Oh, yeah.
huge guitar strap and the lights are, bouncing off of him. And is it George, without you doing the things that you've done, seeing me with a guitar on TV would have been a lot more difficult if you weren't this great guitar player and you were doing hit songs. You play just great jazz music at the same time. You played with everybody. And I'll call other people that have done the same thing. If I, I'll call Buddy Guy,
Yeah.
BB King, and I had, I used to be on the back of his bus sometimes if we
Yep.
were in on tour. And he said, Kevin, we're going to the same festival. We're all going to the same place. Come on our bus. And I would sit in the back with BB King, and we talk about things, and all those things really, and in the comedy side of it too. One of the things that happened, I was at a restaurant, and Arsenio Hall comes up to me and says, "Oh man, you the cat on Jay's new show, man. You guys are great, man. Jay's a great guy, man." And he says, "We should know each other." That's all it was. And he
Wow.
just wrote his number down and said, "Man, just call me, man. We should know each other."
Mm,
And that was it.
yeah.
So, and what he did for hip hop and things like that. So all this is happening at the same time. So when you think about it,
Yeah.
just give a call to some of the people that make it possible for what you're doing today. And even if it makes me feel good to do it, I hope it makes them feel good.
To
But
do it. Right.
you know, So, oh man, it just has to. Um, you have to
Yeah.
show some type of respect for that,
Yes.
and realize that without them breaking that door down, and you come, you have to go through that, and you keep all the things that you're going through may not have happened if it wasn't for this person or that person, that person.
Exactly right.
But give them a call
Give
and
them a
tell them
call.
that. Say
Yeah.
it, and I go up to younger musicians when they're doing records, say, "Oh, could you write something on, for my record? It's my first record." And so somebody from the record company would call me and say, "Could you write something for this, you know, for this guitarist?" And I would say, "Yeah, okay." But I called my friends until I got the person's phone number. I said, "We should know each other." And
Yeah.
then he said, "Is this Kevin?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "We should know each other, man. You sound great.
Yeah.
We should know each other, man. We should know. We shouldn't have to go through the record companies to
Right.
meet the other musicians.
Yes.
We should meet each other because that's what we should be doing.
Right.
So and
That's a
just
great way to do it,
support
isn't
each
it?
other.
We should
Yeah,
know each other. I like that.
yeah,
Yeah. I like
yeah.
that.
And everybody's cool that way. And they say, "Oh man," I say, "Yeah, you sound great doing that." "Well, Kevin, on that record, how did you do that? What was that?" I said, "Oh man, I'll show you. Come on over.
Right.
Let's get something to eat and chill." So we become friends at the same time. Just like I
Exactly.
became friends with Willie Nelson and the
Yeah.
stuff, So you get more into the music because you're into the person,
The person. Right.
you
Exactly.
know.
That's a cool way to
So,
look at it. Yeah. I love that. It's a great shot too. Speaking of being with people here, huh? Is that Javon
oh
Harvey
yeah,
with you?
woo!
Had a
Oh,
great
that's
shot.
nice.
Yeah.
That's
Huh?
nice. It's Music is amazing.
Yeah.
It,
Do you remember
it
this night?
touches
What
so
was
many things.
happening?
What was going on there?
Yeah. Everybody looks happy. Yeah.
Oh man, where was I? Where were we at doing that? Oh
So
man,
many places, you know,
oh I can't remember where that was.
but it's just a
Red
nice
background.
shot. Yeah. It's a great, you also, I
Yeah.
mentioned something else that's really important, as we're talking about the Tonight Show and everything else. And we'll talk in a second about this new thing that he's doing with Jay Leno. They're reunited, co-hosting You Bet Your Life. He's now a co-host.
All
Um,
right.
is you like to mentor, inspire, which I love to do as well. Another thing that I think is great about you, Kevin, you like to mentor and inspire and educate others. That's really important to
Mhm.
you, right? Tell us about that.
Well, growing up with my mom, she's a master's degree in music education, so it just seems as the natural thing to do.
Yeah.
So, and you try to, I don't really try to teach them something. What I most want to impart to them is to find your confidence
Yeah.
and how do you get from this point to that point from with your own personality.
Right.
And so when I do master classes, I say, okay, we have a gig 2 days from now, and I have to put a band together. Who thinks they can do it? I,
Right.
I need a trumpet player that can play some solos and play some melodies. And oh, you say you can do? Okay, we got our trumpet player. We need a drummer. We need this. Before you know, we have like 5 musicians up there. So this
Yeah.
happened at one school.
Now we now we see you we see you with the computer, but it looks like the phone sort of went out there a little bit. So now you're there with the computer. So so now so you have to go back on with the phone. You have to go back on with the phone. You know, that's funny. The technology's been really crazy today, huh? So try try the phone again. You know, he's going to try to sign back in the phone. You guys, if you knew what he and I went through to try to put all this together, because there's the technology there, has been difficult. So can you hear now? So try the phone again. Do the phone. You know, kind of like the Millionaire Show, phone the friend. So let's see. We'll type something to him. Do the phone. Isn't it great for you? You get a chance to see things as they're happening live. I don't know. Maybe we should pre-record some of these. Do the phone. There we go. Do the phone. Yeah. So that's his PC, but he's not getting any audio through his PC, but he was through his phone. So you got a nice, beautiful photo there, you know, a nice, beautiful image there with his computer, but he wasn't getting any sound on his end with his computer. So he was doing it through his phone. So I think he's going to try to get, it's really strange. He's getting the audio through the phone. So he's doing the phone. He's dialing it in. Here he comes. There he is.
We're actually getting good at this.
I was going to say, it's just do the phone, right? I tell you,
we're getting good at this.
They don't have any idea that we're old hat at this now. This is just like nothing.
Right.
We now know what to do.
So I got these musicians in the front of the classroom, and the trumpet player is coming up, and he can solo, and he played, and I said, does anybody think he sounds good?
Yeah.
And the guy was he was looking down. I said, sorry, man, you can't make the show in 2 days. It's just, you know, we need somebody stronger playing lead trumpet. And so the guy puts his head down and he walks away, and the students start looking at me. I said, do we want to learn something or not? This is good stuff. This isn't putting anybody down. This is what really happens. It's happened to me. It's happened to everybody. So I said, does anybody else can play solos? Can they play trumpet? And this other guy comes up and he starts playing, and he sounds worse than the first guy. So I said, okay, this is what would really happen. Now I have to call the first guy and ask, would he come in, because he sounded better than the guy that was taking his place. So I got to figure out how to say it to him, and hopefully that he'll come back up. So he says, no, I don't want to come back up. I'm embarrassed now. I said, man, this is the hump. This is the time where you really get something.
Right.
So, you know, this is your shot.
Yeah.
So I'm asking you to come back so you get another chance at it.
How rare is that, huh?
Yeah. So he comes up again, and because I started clapping, and the other students in the class, when they start clapping, and he comes up and he starts playing, and so I cut the band off. I said, tell the truth. Who thinks he sounds better this time than he did the first time? And I said, he sounds better now than he did the first time. I said, he really does. He sounds good. So I said, man, that's great. I said, you just gained some confidence.
What do you think it was? What do you think was the trigger for him?
I don't know.
When he heard that he wasn't going to be able to do it, then he said, I really want this. And that might have given him a little.
Maybe that, and he didn't want to come back up. But the other students were probably his friends at school, and they said, no, try it again. He comes up, he really did sound better. I wouldn't have done it just, you know, to make it feel nice or anything.
Yeah.
Because it is what it is.
Yeah.
And I said, you really do sound better. You sound better.
Yeah.
And now, if anybody wants to figure out how do you get confidence, we just learned that. This is how you get confidence. You have to get through that wall and do it yourself. If I'm practicing and I'm trying to learn some music and it's so difficult, and 3 days later I'm practicing all night, and then I have it, all of a sudden it's like trying to swim, and then one day you're a lap swimmer. You don't know where that happens. You just got better, and now you're a lap swimmer. Now you're a guitar player. That you broke through that, and that's you in a room by yourself with your instrument, and you come out and you have confidence.
Yeah.
That's what I want to impart to younger students. Said you have to bring your confidence up, and it's not sounding better than this person or that. So you sound better than you did the day before.
Right.
Once you get that, and you can take that confidence everywhere, not just in music. whatever it is you
Yeah.
decide to.
Athletes or anything.
Yeah,
Yeah. Right.
all of that's important. This guy wrote me a long letter. He actually wanted to go into politics. And he says, I'm going to take that lesson into politics. I'm not going to be afraid to say what I think I should say about what's going on in society or something like that. And I want to have confidence in that. He says, I can't tell people how I feel about society and want to go into politics if I don't have any confidence. He wrote me this whole thing. It
Yeah.
wasn't even about music, you
Wow.
know.
Yeah.
Man, it's so nice like that. And you'll find your music. It's one thing when the schools say, you can't really teach people music.
Right.
You really can't. People will find their music, you
Right.
know, but they have to have confidence in doing that. They can't have somebody say something to them and then you just, go under a rock somewhere.
No, you
So
need to.
it's your personality and how does that work? Um,
Exactly.
so it's an amazing thing.
It's a great thing. It's a great lesson learned. Again, this is like a music 101 lesson for everybody watching right now, Kevin. I said 18 years with The Tonight Show with Jay Leno. What are some of the moments over those years that stand out for you? Maybe some of your favorite episodes, favorite moments, crazy moments that have happened.
Yeah, there's all kinds of things. Getting dumped into a big vat of Campbell's soup because I lost a bet with Jay because
Ah,
the Eagles were playing New England, and if the Eagles lose, then I get dumped into a vat of Campbell's soup because our quarterback, he was the one that was pushing Campbell's soup. He was always doing commercials about Campbell's soup,
exactly
So
right.
so they're playing a Super Bowl against New England Patriots, and Jay's from Boston.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
so they had this whole thing lined up on the stage, this huge vat, and I'm sitting because since my team lost, I have to sit in this chair, and Jay takes the football and throws it. If he hits this flag, I get dumped into the, you know. I said, Jay's not going to hit. He's not going to do.
He's not going to.
First thing he throws, and it knocks, hits the
Boom.
fan. I go in, and it really was Campbell's soup. It was gallons and gallons of soup.
What kind? Tomato or something? Or what
I don't
was it?
remember, but it just stuck
I
to
don't
my,
remember.
you know,
You were
it
just in a
was like,
daze
oh
after that.
my God. So I had
Wow.
to, so we said, well, finally we had to go to commercial. So I had to run back to the office, take a shower,
Yeah.
try and get it off me. And
Yeah.
Jay, so we come back on stage, and Jay says, "What does that smell? Didn't you go take a shower? Go take another shower. We can't have this." But it was so much fun, and that way, when I went to Philly, I got to do a lot of TV in Philly because see what I took, took one for the team,
Yes.
and it always that's just one thing. There was so many things when Barack Obama came
Didn't you
on.
help convince Dinah Ross to come out of the dressing room or something?
I I guess I did. I didn't know what to do. This was we were in Phoenix, and it was this Super Bowl week,
So you guys were on
and
location then. Yeah.
right, and Diana Ross, she was going to be the halftime. She was the halftime entertainment
Right.
for the Super Bowl. It was wonderful too. So we were doing the Tonight Show from Phoenix, and we're in the studio and we're doing our thing, and Diana Ross would not come out of her dressing room, and so I was sitting in the audience because I wanted to see her, how she works a rehearsal and how she does this, and I grew up listening to the Supremes and Diana Ross,
Oh
and
yeah.
so I said, oh, I'm just going to sit back and enjoy this, but she wouldn't come out. She wouldn't come out of her room. So I can see everybody was getting a little bit nervous now. I said,
Yeah.
"Well,
Like
where is
what's
she? She's
happening
got to
here?
come on. We're
Yeah.
we're getting behind." And I was just sitting there. I said, "There's nothing I can do. I'm just sitting there." So nobody could get her to come out. So I said, "You must not have any other ideas if you're coming to me." I never met Diane Ross ever in my life. I would love to meet her. And they said, "Well, can you go back there and talk to her?" I said, you couldn't even get through the door. Why would I can't get through the door if you can't get through the door?" I said, "I don't know what to do." So just try it. We're running out of time. We don't know what to do. So I knock on the door, and somebody says, "Who is it?" I said, I'm the music director of the show, of the Tonight Show, and all I really want is I just want Miss Ross' autograph. If my mother finds out that I got an autograph from Diana Ross, my mom and dad would just put that in a frame and put it on the wall. So I said, I just want to say hi to her. I don't know what else is going on. I don't have anything to do with that. But this is my one chance to actually meet Diana Ross.
This is
So
it.
I, you know, so he opens the door, cracks the door open. I said, you can give it to her if you want. And she says, let him in. So I come in and she's at her desk. She's in the dressing room. And I said, Miss Ross, I I don't want to take up your time. Could you give me an autograph? And they have something that they want me to. I'm just here. I'm just so wonderful to meet you. And she signs it and everything. And I said, thank you so much. My mother and father are going to be so happy. I can go back and say, I actually was in the dressing room with Diana Ross and said, thanks. Have a wonderful Super Bowl halftime. And I left. That was it. So I came out. They said, what did she say? What did she say? I said, I got her autograph. So
Yeah.
about 10 minutes later, she comes walking out of her room. And they said, what did you do? What did you say to her? I said, I didn't say anything to her. I just said I wanted her autograph. And I grew up listening to her music, and my parents would be so proud of me for getting that. So that's all. I said, I didn't have anything to do with what's going on out here. What do you expect me to do? So I just got it, and I came out, and that was it. And a few minutes later, she came out. That's all. And that was, I don't know what it was,
Magic
but
touch, Kevin. I don't know.
she,
It's like
she just came out. That was so at the Super Bowl we went there. She had a wonderful. It was a helicopter that put her on this big podium. It was great. Those kind of things. Where does that happen? And well,
oh, the chances of that exactly. And
yeah.
again, what a great absolute memory. And again, like I said, with the show for some 18 years, so many laughs, so many memories, so many good moments, and you guys together and all the guest stars and all the holiday episodes and just so much, when you look back at it.
Hmm.
I know it's a very special time in your life, but then, time to, I guess, move on and check out some other things, and you decided to move on to something else, right? That must have been a very difficult decision to move on from the show, I would imagine.
Well, sometimes there's things that just speak to you, and you can't really. It's something that Jay always says to me. He said, "Don't second guess yourself." And it was just time to do that and see what was coming up. Not in so much of an ambitious way. It's just something that's pulling you somewhere. You don't really exactly know where you're going to or why you're doing it. But when you really feel like there's something, I don't know what it is, but it's something that's pulling me, and you go after that, whatever it is, and see what's going. Maybe it just comes to you. That's what happens with musicians. I mean, you have this thing in you that's pulling you. I mean, can you think of a harder thing to do? You
Yeah.
go into a town, nobody knows you. You can barely play, and you're there, but here you are, broke as can be in Brooklyn. Nothing you're making
Yeah.
sandwiches at a restaurant or something. So, but that's the thing that keeps you moving. What makes you think that you're gonna, start on a violin, then you're gonna go to trumpet, then you're gonna go to guitar, then you're gonna go to there, and then you wind up at, you never know.
On the
But
Tonight
that's
Show. Yeah.
yeah, when you have creative energy and you can't really dictate to it. It kind of gives you a friendly shove in this direction or something like that.
Yeah.
And it's a difficult thing to do because you may not be successful at it, but you don't really look at it that way. You look on the positive side of it because there's something in you that just draws you out to do those kind of things. And musicians, it's like different athletes, or
Yeah.
how serious certain comedians can be, even though they have, wonderful jokes and they keep everybody. But some of the comedy that it is very serious. They
Right.
talk about things. So when musicians are playing, jazz music, or they're playing funk music, but it doesn't mean that's all you can do. Just because
Right.
you played funk doesn't mean you can't play jazz. If
Right.
you play football doesn't mean you can't play baseball.
Correct.
You
Right.
know, so don't let anybody put you in a box and say, well, why are you on TV? You should be touring around Europe. You should be doing that. You should, it's like, yeah,
Did
but
you hear that in the beginning when you went on the show, or you're getting that from other
absolutely.
colleagues,
I've been
musicians,
hearing that ever since
even
I went
ever
on the
since?
show. To this day, I
Wow.
still get that.
Wow. Yeah.
And I said, but there's, not by any stretch of imagination, I'm comparing myself with Quincy Jones, but he shows you that you can work with Michael Jackson. You can write some wonderful music for Sammy Davis Jr., Frank Sinatra. You can do scores for movies. You can do all of that. So when all of these things happen, Slide Hampton did a lot of TV
Yeah.
arranging for
Yeah.
things. A lot of people have. Clark Terry was in the band Tonight Show with Doc Severinsen. So you can't allow that to get in your head and say, oh, well, I'm a jazz musician, so I should be doing this. I should be, playing at this club. I should be in the festivals in Europe or the festivals in the States. And just because you are confident to do other things, why does that have to be defended? Why do I have to defend myself because I want to do this and you get better at it? Like
Right.
the show that we're doing now, You Bet Your Life, I'm not playing guitar. I'm
Right.
becoming a co-host,
You're co-hosting. Yeah.
so what do you do? How do you become a good co-host? How do you do that? And if you're creative enough, if okay, let's figure it out. Well, how do we get that better? How do we contribute to the show? How do we get the people that are watching that you give them a show, whatever that is? Doesn't mean I don't. People can. You still play guitar? What? Do I still play guitar? I mean,
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah.
what?
That's like,
Are you serious?
yeah.
Because you
Right.
see me
Exactly.
on a
On this.
TV
Yeah.
comedy game show.
Hosting. It's like
Why
you
does it come
can
into your
only be
mind?
right. You can only do one thing. I've had that too a little bit, because some people know me from this show or this network or this project, and they were super fans of this show or this thing that I was a part of or am a part of, or because I've always done 15 different things at the same time. And the folks
Right.
who watched that or listened to me on the radio or whatever, they thought I only did that. And then when I told them, well, actually, while I was doing that, I
Right.
was also
Right.
doing this and this and this and this. What? Really? What? Are you sure? How could? And it's just the way it
Yeah.
is. And
Yeah.
there's no limiting yourself, and it allows you to grow
No.
and grow as a person, grow as a talent. So, and
Yeah.
I think how did this opportunity come? I mean, it's great that you and Jay are paired back together. How did the opportunity
Hmm.
come to co-host this, what has become really a great hit on Fox, the You Bet Your Life,
Yeah.
sort of like playing off the original Groucho Marx series? How did this happen where you got teamed up with Jay? Did Jay call you, or how'd that happen?
Yeah. Jay called me and said,
He just
"You
called
want
you.
to?" Yeah. He said, "You want to go back to work? You want to go back to
Yeah.
work with me?" And I said, "Yeah." What are we doing?
Right.
I
It's
just
been
said,
too
yeah, off the
long.
top of
Yeah.
my head. I just said, well, Jay's calling. I said, yeah, yeah. And then I said, well, what are we going to do?
Yeah.
And he said, well, we need a co-host more than we need a guitar player. I said, okay, I'll learn to be a good It's something
Yeah.
that I can learn.
Yeah.
And that's a lot of, confidence in somebody to say that to you.
Well,
Say,
when you were
okay,
doing what you were doing with Jay as the music director, it is sort of like, I know they don't give the the band leader and the music director, the title, but you are kind of like co-hosting because the host does
Right.
refer back to the band
Right.
leader, the music director, very often, sometimes even just for facial reactions. Did the joke work? Look at the music director, band leader.
Right.
Did that
Right.
guest just say something really crazy? Look at the music director. Always acknowledge. So you are sort of, that was great co-host training, I think, in a way,
Mm-hmm.
being on
Definitely.
that show
Yeah.
18 years. And I think Jay
Yeah.
realized that, and you guys, worked so well together for so long. So was it an
Yeah.
automatic? You said, yeah, this is cool. I want to do this. Let's make it happen.
Yeah.
And then he
I
said,
said,
it's a game show.
and I said, well, I started looking up the old game show with Groucho
Yeah.
Marx, and I just started asking, calling around some comedians that I know, and what do you think about that? And I just started doing my homework.
Right.
And so, well, what can I do? I was all, nervous again, like when
The
I was
whole new
a
thing.
music director, so, but now I don't have a guitar. So, okay, wow, let me, said, well, let me write the theme song so I can feel some music with the band playing it, so I can hear my friends,
That's right. You
uh,
you hit
so,
you did compose the theme song, right? Which that's
yeah.
fantastic, huh?
And that feels good,
Yes.
So it's still, I know Smitty's on drums, I know Ralph is on sax, and this person's on. So I said, so I'll give me a little taste at home,
Yeah.
and just try and get better and better at it as we go, and start trying to understand what the show is, and how the
And it's
comedy
done well.
works, and so and our second season is starting in September.
Right.
uh, we just did all the shows for the new season, and things are just feeling better and better.
Isn't that
So
cool?
yeah,
Yeah.
and that
So
and
it's
that's for people. I mean, you go through the same thing. You can do a lot. Doesn't mean because you do this and you do that doesn't mean that you don't do it great. Doesn't mean you don't
right.
do it well. Say, oh, you do those things, but have you mastered that? I go, well, I think that word is used a lot too much to begin with. The master of this, and what does that even mean?
Right.
But I have no problem on any stage. If we want to play some music, we'll have a great time. And why is it that we have to be compartmentalized with that? If you have talent,
Exactly.
if you have confidence, if you have, all of that works together. So, and the way technology changes the workplace, it would
Yes.
be good for you to be versatile that way while keeping the level of excellence as you do it,
Right. Exactly. Right.
because it's
Because
going to change.
right. If anything, the last 3 years has taught us life does change and can change on a dime.
Right,
Yeah,
right.
it's crazy stuff. But you're obviously, you love what you're doing, and the other thing too, in addition to doing the show with Jay, is you also, which I think is really cool, tapping on that education. Well, you've been on Hollywood Squares,
Right.
Girlfriends, Days of Our Lives, Royal Pains, HGTV, Oprah's Own, the History Channel, just to name the few. So it's not like
Right,
you haven't been busy. But also, I mentioned, going back to the being a strong advocate for music education, you served as the artistic director of the Jazz in the Classroom program for the
right,
Thelonious Monk Institute of Jazz as well,
right,
and worked with young up and coming middle and high school musicians in LA. That was
right.
really important for you, wasn't it?
Very much so.
Yeah.
And Herbie Hancock was really a part of that. It's his thing now, and so that was just an honor to be working in and around Herbie Hancock to do
Yeah.
that. And so I wanted to do as good as I could. If Herbie's there, if there's and the other musicians that were there, said this is a good thing to be a part of. So you just again, I'm trying to get confidence in the musicians, not get labeled in your mind, and don't compartmentalize yourself. Do what it is that you're feeling, and you'll learn a lot anyway. But try and find a 360 mindset so you can embrace things that are around you. You don't have to be myopic about it, and all of it can help you. Not saying that you have to say everything is great, everything is great. I don't mean it that way, but keeping an open mind, um, you'll use your energy in in a way that allows you to have options. The way you think, the way this music. I still love playing rock music. I still love playing, funk music.
Yeah.
Um, it's just, embrace more things. I don't just like roses. I like, a lot of different types of flowers. So it's hard to get that to people because once something becomes really popular, the tendency is to copy that to a certain extent. So
Hmm.
everything gets leans that way. So
Yeah.
do we have any original things that can help society go this way, that way? The musicians from the 50s and 60s, particularly in the 60s, um, from jazz to folk music, rock music, it was all about society. We don't
Right.
want to go to war. We don't
Right.
want to do this. We don't,
Right.
these are musicians that have a part of what's going on in society. Those musicians, and not just the musicians, but what society was going through,
Right. Exactly.
um, with Martin
Social
Luther
issues.
King.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of this stuff is going on, and you can feel that energy in their music.
Yeah. Peter,
With
Paul, and
Neil Young,
Mary, and Neil Young,
yeah,
and all.
right,
Yeah.
all that
Joe
that
Cocker.
it wasn't just the music. It's the energy that they have that came through the music that makes you want, oh, I want to be a guitar player. I want to be a musician. And people think it's just because of music. No, but at that time, there was a synergy between the music and what was happening in society.
Right.
So
Right.
that gives you, a purpose. That gives you, people say, "Oh man, I'm gonna copy some Jimi Hendrix. I'm gonna copy some Coltrane." I said, "Don't waste your time.
Right.
It's not that their energy is what is turning you on.
Right.
It's not
Exactly.
the notes that they're playing. You can play those same notes. It's not gonna. You're not gonna be trained. You're not gonna be Jimmy. It's their energy. Those guys, they didn't save energy to come back. You're taking a race out in the ocean. They're not coming back.
That's it.
The energy they have is that I'm going that way and I'm not turning around. I'm not coming back. This energy is on full blast, and that's it. So
Miles
what is
Davis
the
was Miles Davis. Luther Vandross
yeah?
was Luther. Frank Sinatra was Frank Sinatra.
They're
Right.
doing their things. They're doing it. Michael Jackson. Who
Yeah.
danced like Michael? Who did that? Out of no, he did all of this stuff. So hey, you
Yeah.
you got you have to
Do
figure
you
out
be your own? Right. Be
you
authentic.
do. And somebody will say something else, and but you can take that. It's not just in music. You can do it in other things too. You can be a writer. You can write stories. You can write short stories. You can write children's stories. You can do all kinds of things. So just have a positive, confident attitude about it. And once you feel like you can do something,
Yeah.
don't turn back.
That's right.
Do it. We're not here forever.
Right. Yeah.
Go
Make your
do
mark
it.
now. Make your mark now. We actually have a clip here of you. Looks like maybe you're in your studio. It's a solo guitar clip. It's about 30 seconds. We want to share some of that music and you doing your thing, Kevin, which you love so much.
Ta-da!
Ta-da!
Into it.
So while, yeah.
No,
So
come
you're,
on, we can do
so
it.
the, oh, there it is. So so while you do that, we'll play the clip, and then you can bring your phone back up. Here's the clip. Enjoy, gang. Thanks for watching the Jim Master Show live. Kevin Eubanks, extraordinary guitarist, prolific composer, former music director of The Tonight Show with Jay Leno, joining us. And also, of course, he's co-host with Jay Leno once again of You Bet Your Life, the game show. Here is a clip while his phone sort of regroups. Very nice.
Wow.
That was perfectly timed to do that while you had to sort of kick the phone into gear again. And you know what's
Right.
cool? They don't know, you know, behind the scenes, but I guess we'll share it. You had to have that other screen with the PC or laptop up, and now you
Right.
don't have to because it's all, you know, I guess it's all warmed up.
Wow.
That was
That's
nice.
amazing that we could do this with the phone.
I
Now
tell
I
you,
now I know I can do it on the phone.
see, you learn something every day on the
Wow.
Jim Masters Show live. We actually have another clip here too. This is something really cool that we want to share as well that were
Oh,
sent
yeah.
along. Just again, you guys, you know, Spotify and Amazon and everywhere else, if you want to get his music, and if you're seeing him on, you know, your television screen and all that, saying, is he still doing guitar? Yes, yes.
What
He
else am I gonna do?
he sure is. He sure is. This is, I believe, Kevin Eubanks Trio, this clip here. And we'll play some of this because I know you guys have been asking for some music. I know you've been patient and we've been having an awesome conversation with Kevin. This has really been fantastic. And, but here is some music for you. And then we will be back with Kevin Eubanks on the Jim Master Show Live. Enjoy. Really nice. Just a little teaser there for everybody, but really nice just to
Right.
hear some of that. The trio, that's great. You guys like to, I mean, you're really enjoying your time with that, huh? The trio.
Oh yeah, trios are nice. Duos are nice. Solos are. I have to get better at solo guitar when it's just, just like, oh, we just want you to play solo guitar, and I have fun doing it, but I don't feel like I really embraced it yet. So I want to do more of that. But I love playing duos and trios a lot. Like,
So
that's cool.
it's the solo thing. Is it that you love playing off the other instruments? You're so used to having the other instruments around playing off that the solo
Yeah, yeah,
thing
that's
is,
part of it.
yeah,
Hmm. I like that, and I like comping behind the other people that are playing, especially if it's funk music where you such a heavy part of the groove, and you know, giving the whole thing. But then when I see some flamenco guitarists play solo guitar, or Oscar Peterson, I used to love, just seeing Oscar Peterson solo piano. You don't think anything is missing. It's,
right,
you feel like, oh, it's going to be more music because there's more music, more musicians on stage. Not necessarily.
right,
You hear the whole orchestra if you listen to somebody. I mean, not everybody's gonna be Oscar Peterson, yes, but
right.
so when I'm playing solo guitar, it's like, I haven't quite found that one thing. I mean, do it for a few songs, and then I just feel maybe I'm just hard on myself. I feel like I'm, being redundant, or
Yeah,
I
yeah.
want to change it to something else. I want to do this, and so I don't have all of that, right confidence to just be yourself. Don't second guess what you're doing. Just keep moving. Just don't look back.
Don't
Just
look
keep
back.
keep moving, and be yourself. It'll go somewhere because that's what nature does. It
Right.
The plants grow. They're not going back. They're not going back. Oh, I don't know. It's hot. We're gonna just go back into the dirt. No, once you start, where are you going? What are you gonna do?
Right, exactly. You know, congrats. You know, you've been featured in a lot of magazines over the years, but recently a nice write up in Jazz Times, huh?
Oh yeah, that was a great one. That was great. The merger. I mean, it's wow.
Yeah.
That was a good one. We had a great talk,
It's nice to
and
have that,
yeah.
recognition for all that you do and everything that you've contributed and still contribute. Also, there's a recent work. I mean, there's so much more that we haven't even really talked about, but this is recent, right? I know you're excited about this.
Oh yeah, my man Oren.
Eubanks Evans experience. Tell us about this one.
Oren and I have known each other for a long time. His mother was a vocalist, and she would sing with my mother.
Wow.
And I didn't even know this
Yeah.
until within the last year or so. I
Right.
didn't know that they knew each other,
Even
that
know
we
each.
grew up this close to each other. We didn't even know that.
Wow.
And one day, I said, "Man, I said, Oren, what do you think about a duo thing with the two of us?" And he said, "Say, Kevin, we've been talking about that. We talked about you and I talked about that, so many
Sure.
years ago." I said, "We did?" He said, "Yeah."
Yeah.
He said, "We've been talking about this." I'm like, "Oh, really?" I thought I came up with something. He said, "No, man, we've been talking about doing this for a long time. So now it's finally let's do it." And just we didn't try and turn it into something. Let's just start playing and see where it goes, and roll with that. And we have a really really wonderful time playing together.
And this
Um,
just it's available. It just came out, right? Was it March or so? Or
yeah, it's a
yeah,
pretty
recent.
new. Yeah, it's really 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 cool. We had a wonderful time, and
Yeah.
I love piano.
Oh yeah.
Uh, Sometimes even my mother says you seems like you take more naturally to the piano than you do guitar.
Isn't that
Um,
something?
I love piano. I mean, when you hear it from day one, and
Yeah,
I've
it's
always been, just astounded by piano players. So
they're incredible. Yeah,
it's
incredible.
wonderful.
You
So
know, another one too that I think is pretty recent is this one, right?
oh yeah,
Yes.
yeah.
Tell us about this because folks watching might not know about this one.
That was the East
Congrats.
West Timeline
It's a great cover.
record. That was fun. That was really fun. Um, so half of the band is from the East Coast, and the other half of the band is from the West Coast. So it's if it was an LP, it would be one side, and then the other side would be that, and that felt really really good.
Mm.
All the musicians, wonderful musicians. Dave Hollins on it, Nicholas Payton, all just Jeff Tain Watts playing drums, Orange on that one. It's just so much fun
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
do that. We had a really good time doing that record. So it's always some more music to get into,
Right.
and it I feel like it's not always just about practicing.
Right.
Getting in a room, which you need to do, of course.
Right.
But once you start to feel things about your life, about society, that we forget that we live on a planet. We don't just live in a city. We got this big round-ish with water all over it, and it's spinning through space in this big fireball in the middle.
You seem to
And
be going through what I'm going through because that's exactly how I've been analyzing things lately and saying that
really,
we're actually on this. It's when I drove alone after a television shoot in Pahrump, Nevada, just west of Las Vegas. I had the rental car, and the crew
right?
went back to LA, and my flight back east wasn't until the next day. And I took the rental car and I just drove alone through Death Valley. And when you see the raw earth, you see the dirt and you see the
Right.
actual planet, and there's just this open, vast space of whatever. And
Right.
that road could take you to heaven or hell. You just don't know where. It
That's
was
right.
just this really life-changing experience that I had. Nobody knew I was doing it. I was in a rental car. It was August, about 2.5 years ago. And it
Right.
was just really absolutely incredible. And I was very in touch with self and all of that, because I'm communal. I like to do things with family and friends and share the experience, like you say. So team and group versus the solo thing. Same thing
Right.
for me. I like to feed off the energy of everybody. And this was a very solo, ad hoc, last minute thing that I did. And it
Right.
just reminded me that we're actually floating in space on this round ball with the
Right.
sun. And it's an odd thing
Yeah.
that in our day-to-day lives of paying the bills and doing what we have to do to
Yeah.
survive and thrive, we forget about
Right.
all of that. But
Yeah.
sometimes when you do, that's why for me, like one of my go-to places, because we're here on the coast in the Northeast, the ocean. I'm an ocean person. You gotta drag me out of it. I'm always in it. I love it. And it feeds me because it's larger than me. It's
Yeah.
something bigger than myself. So I sort
Right.
of pay respect to it, pay homage to it. Because it can wipe me out in a second, or it can provide
Yeah.
great pleasure for me. So when you look up at the stars, like I've been with people in the city, and everybody's looking down and moving forward. I'm like, once in a while, look up and look at the
Yeah.
reflection of the sun bouncing off the skyscraper. Look at the spire. Look at the fact that there are actually people on cranes in 1935 when technology wasn't
Right.
as advanced, hanging, by a thread, building that office tower. That's,
Right.
I mean, there were people up there building that. When you go over a bridge, don't just go always look straight. Look at what the
Right.
view is. You're going over a bridge, over a river, over a mountain, over a city,
Right.
over a valley.
Right.
Look at it. And people will be in the car and they're like, oh yeah, you're right. I never noticed. I'm always just looking forward.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got to look around and enjoy. And it, it's
Yeah.
um it's so true. When you think big picture like that sometimes. Um, does that ever influence your work, your music, your outlook when you do stop and think of things like that? Here we are on a planet with the sun and the moon and all Jupiter and
Yeah.
Saturn and everything, that
Yeah.
there are these things in life that are precious and we should revere and celebrate.
I absolutely think so. Um, if you, I mean, if you can embrace the responsibility of being a planetary citizen, so that changes a lot of things. That you give respect to the ocean, to the air, to the land, and this is not hugging trees. This isn't, something else. We're just part of this whole being called called Earth. Probably should be called water, or ocean or something, because it's more of that than it is anything else. But anyway, that's beside the point. Um, that we keep looking out at space. We want to go to Mars. We want to do this. We have the moon. The sunlight is hitting off the moon and everything. All of this stuff is going on, which is magical things. We don't know what's going on. We don't know why gravity does what it does. The spinning, all the other planets. All of this we just take for granted.
Yeah, that it just
You know,
happens, that the sun's going to come up, and you're
yeah.
right.
It's what is it? We don't even know. I mean, what's more magical than a seed drops from a tree into the ground and food comes up? You cut your arm
Absolutely.
and then it heals itself. Things
Yeah.
like that. We just take it
Yes.
for granted
Yeah.
that it's happened. All
Mm.
this magical things that are going around, and we say, "Oh, we want to go to Mars. Oh, we want to go to Mars, but we can't live next to each other because you look different than me."
Right.
How
Right.
can we can't even get to the neighbors and we want to go to Mars? What are
Yes, right.
what
We
are
want
we
to
do? What do you
colonize
think is
another planet.
yeah. I mean, what are we doing?
I know.
What is
Yeah,
that? I
you're
mean,
right.
all the beautiful things that are here.
That
We were
exists
born
here.
from this. There's no place better than this for us. We're a product of that. You know, we're the people that were birthed, from the planet. The planet is mom having a baby and we're the babies.
We're the babies.
Where are we going?
And
Going where?
it was funny you're saying that, because I was saying the other day, when you really, really think about it, the planet, the Earth really is. Actually, it was Neil deGrasse Tyson who I had an opportunity to chat with in New York at the Hayden Planetarium. And he was also doing a lecture, but we chatted with him after, and we went up to his office. Very nice guy, just a brilliant mind. And he was talking about how the Earth is a giver of life, but it's also basically what ends it. Because usually, if you really think about it, even if somebody passes of an illness, it is tied to something else that the Earth gave off, or we ingested, or something happened. Even if you get hit by a car, it's still the metals that the car were made out of come from the Earth. And if you really deduce it all, but it's fascinating when you think about the Earth, because it really is like this constant recycling plant. Everything that is from it goes back in it, you know, including ourselves. I mean, whether you're going in the ocean, the ground, or dust, or whatever it is, we're still, it's a recycling situation. Trees, you know, everything in the living room right now will not be here 1,000 years from now. It'll all be recycled back into the earth, and then something else. It's really a major recycling situation. But when you think about stuff like that, it's fascinating. Do you like, it sounds like you like science and things of that nature. That fascinates you.
I like nature. I love the ocean. I love the ocean, and the music that comes out of it, and the emotions that comes out of it. And so, you know, when you think about how can I contribute to something, there's nothing that can contribute more than what water does. So I'm just, you know, mind blown when I watch the ocean, the way it moves, when I get in the ocean, how you flow with it, and you immediately become part of what it does. It's not because it looks different or it feels different. As soon as you get in it, you're part of it, and you go with it.
Right.
I think it's amazing. And if we all, I mean, this is just my opinion.
No, it's great.
If we structured ourselves the way trees structure, the way ocean structured, how many things live in trees? Different insects, different ants, different this, different,
birds,
food
everything.
comes in it, birds, everything, and they share the whole thing. You know, why don't we do that?
Right. Exactly right. I agree. Exactly right. I think it froze a little bit. But that is a great point. If you can hear me, Kevin, dial back in. It froze at a very, very good point. He is right, you know, in terms of appreciating the things that are around us. He's talking about the ocean. It's a great conversation that we're having. Tied into, again, you know, the kind of person that he is. It's really fascinating stuff. Hope you guys are enjoying it. He's going to, his picture froze there, which happens, you know, technology. Even though we have the oceans and we have the stars, the moon, the earth, the sun, sometimes technology itself can still be a little funky. It's a little nutty. Hey, gang, anyway, he'll pop back on. He'll dial back in. I just want to make mention that this music we're talking about, some of the music, we showed you an incredible array of albums that he has. You can go to places like Amazon and Spotify and all the rest, and you can see all of the music. And we just really scratched the surface on just a few of the pieces of material. I mean, he's been doing this for some 40 years. Isn't that hard to believe? Really. I've always admired his work, and not just on The Tonight Show as the music leader and band leader with Jay Leno, but his music, laid back personality. These are some of what we showed earlier, but we had, if you came in late, he had a funny story about these covers, and you can check that out by watching the archives. This is another one too. And this goes back a little bit in time. And yeah, I'm sure he's, look at that, huh? That's 1978. That's Kevin Eubanks in 1978. And even when he was seeing these photos, he was like, my God, wow. Time does fly. That's why he says you got to appreciate it. He went back to Philadelphia, his hometown, and played the anthem for the Philadelphia 76ers, which was really cool. Some more great shots here. We played some music for you too. Some of these types of photos here, like these, we appreciate Annie Weber and her beautiful photographic work as well. These are nice shots, huh? So while he's working to dial back in, we thank Annie for those shots. This is a great one too. This is more, this one's more recent. This album here, there we go. That's a great album too. Zen Food. That's one of the newer ones. And again, this one too we talked about, which is also available. And if you joined us late, of course, you guys know 18 years as the music director, band leader with Jay Leno on The Tonight Show. He had some great stories to share with us too. And there's some great shots from the years, 18 years on The Tonight Show. See, he's a pro. I told you he'd be back. He's there. We were just reviewing the album covers. I was telling you, you can get it all on Spotify and Amazon and everything.
Right.
See, he's a professional. He's been on television. He knows what to do. He just, we didn't get to hear what he had to say. I can only imagine what he was saying when the phone went off. We can.
That's right. Take the battery out of your pack when you
that's it.
Have a live one. Make sure you take the batteries out of your pack.
What I was telling everybody was, I was saying it's just funny because you were talking about, appreciating the simple things in life and nature and the ocean and everything else, which are all there and all accessible to us. And yet technology and Wi-Fi and all that nutty stuff can take you down in a New York minute.
Sure.
But one of the things I was telling people too is during, this craziness of the pandemic, that was happening,
Right.
still happening, is to go out and surround yourself by nature. Go out into a garden, go to a forest, go to an ocean, because these things are here and have been here since the beginning of time, and they're going to be here well after us. And if you need to find something that makes you feel like everything isn't just being torn apart, surround yourself with nature. And that's an important thing to do, right? You got to have that balance.
Yeah, I think that makes people have more empathy for everything that's around us, including people. And it's, it's not this party against that party against this and that.
All that nonsense. Yeah.
What's the outcome of that going to be?
Yeah, right.
Just, if you have something to offer, great. If you have something to offer, great, and let's put it together and see what happens with this.
Exactly.
So it's kind of funny with all of these things that grow from things, and I don't know. And I think in order to get whatever music that I want to become a part of, I feel like if I'm getting in the ocean with natural water, you have to become a part of it. So getting into whatever music that I want to really dive into, I have to feel part of it, not just because I can use this harmony or that harmony, but how is it part of life?
Exactly. You know what it really all is when you come down to it, and I think you've covered it nicely with this album. It's all Zen food. That's what it is, right? It's all
Yeah,
Zen food.
yeah,
I
that's the vegan in me.
was
So
gonna say, yeah. Tell us about this one.
wow, that was a while back, Zen
Yeah.
food, and I was really still am, vegan. Well, now they call it plant based. It seems a little bit easier for people to to take when you say it's plant based instead of it's you know, but it's just a name.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but I started feeling more and more towards that, and you can feel when things are changing in you.
Yes.
And your music changes because it's you. It's not
Right,
like the music is over there and you're over here.
right.
So if you change, your music's going to change, and the more empathy you have towards things, you just naturally change. That's what I guess that's what nature does. It just morphs into this and morphs into that. So it's all one sphere that just goes around and around, and we don't know where it started. Who knows? So was
You,
go ahead, sir.
well, I was gonna say, you're humble about that, album, Zen Food, but that debuted in the top 5 on the Billboard Jazz Chart and was your
Yeah,
fastest selling album
yeah,
or record ever.
yeah. That did great. The record did great. The band were having fun. We were having a great time. It was really nice, and you just keep moving.
Yeah.
Um, so, I mean, music just kind of remind you. It's a reminder about people coming together. That's what I like about movies. I
Yes.
like about things. Have this person who does lights. This person wrote the thing. This person did the screenplay. This person did this. This person did that. And somebody writes the music. And
Takes a
it
village.
takes
Yeah.
a ton of people to put all that together. And then you watch the movie and just go, wow, that was great. And, how many people had to get up at 5 in the morning, 4 in the morning to get it going, to
To
get
get it
that
going and
happening?
keep it going.
Yeah. And
Yeah.
so when people do come together in common purpose, beautiful things happen.
Yes, that's right. Absolutely. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Somebody that's been watching along, who's usually always with us on every episode of our series, was here and he thoroughly enjoyed himself and he just wanted to pop in. He's usually down here with a cigar and his martini. Mr. George Burns is with us.
George, how are you? Oh my God. I haven't seen you in a long
In a long
time.
time. Did you? He
Wow.
came on the Tonight Show, right?
George, my man.
There he is. He's got his cigar. He's
You
moving around.
surprised me with that. Snuck up on me.
Oh yeah, we do it all the time. The cigar, he's very dapper all the time. And he loved this, and he said you knocked it out of the park, and he just absolutely learned so much. He learned a lot more about you than he didn't even know himself. And he sends you all his best. He said you knocked it out of the park, kiddo.
Thanks, George. Thank you. If it wasn't for you.
That's right. That's it. Thank those, right? Thank those
That's it.
who came before us.
That's so cool.
The incredible.
Thanks for coming by, George.
I was going to say, yeah, my aunt collected dolls, and when he turned, I think that upper age, she made sure she got the collectible, and somehow it got passed down to me and then morphed into this series, the Jim Masters Show, and it's just been really fantastic. This was really a great conversation. In addition to You Bet Your Life, what are some other things maybe that you got coming up that you might want to share, or you're looking forward to, or that you're working on? And again, congratulations on this show with you and Jay Leno.
All right. I'm not quite sure what
Is
I mean, I can
next.
always play. I can always do some gigs and things like that. But something that is having a shift in where I'm at with life or with myself, and I don't know what's coming up next. But I think in order to get to it, I have to get a little bit more of a embracingness with the ocean and things like that. And people just like say, "What are you talking about?" You know,
No, I get it. Yeah. Well, I want to mention too that, as part of this, you are also a motivational speaker. Like I said, you've always liked to inspire others, but in addition to club and concert touring, things of that nature, you began presenting at conferences around the country, not only as a musician, but a motivational speaker for
Mm.
people of all ages, right? And that's a whole other thing that you've taken on, which is a beautiful, beautiful thing as a motivational speaker.
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, and people just
Came
started
from within.
to do it, and um, it just started happening, and I just didn't see that coming.
You
And
got
people,
Diana Ross to come out of the dressing room. You got that other kid, the trumpet player that wasn't that great and who
right?
wasn't going to be good enough. And then all of a sudden he was, and then there he was. I don't know. I think it's something you might have been doing without realizing it probably all your life through music, but just doing it, because of who you are, the person that you are, not just the name Kevin Eubanks, but the person that you are. I think you've been doing it all your life.
Well, I really do think that everybody can inspire other people because everybody has a passion in them for something, and you might not see it because it's not marketable, so you don't feel it that way. But everybody has something in them that it um, anybody can inspire you to look at what somebody they're striving through this, or they came through something that was very difficult and they got through it. That in itself inspires you to this living and doing all of that. It's you have to go, you have to be a part of it. You have to embrace that it's real. It's not just the things that people get trophies for,
Right.
things like that. It's just, I don't know, it just seems like it's nature. Everything's in motion, things happen. And
Did what we've experienced the last 2 to 3 years sort of also help have this rise to the surface? It's been a very reflective time. It's been a very horrific time, but also a beautiful time. People have been reassessing their lives, deciding, okay, going forward, I think this is what I want to do with the rest of my life now. Next chapter. Has some of what we've all lived and what we've witnessed been sort of a catalyst as well for some of this thinking for you, or maybe enhanced it or reaffirmed it for you about life?
I think to some degree, I'm still kind of puzzled by all of it. It I can't just keep going like nothing happened, and I don't, deal with things exactly the same anymore because there's possibilities that it can make you ill. It could really devastate you, and then that's a domino effect to the people that are close to you. All of these things. So, in little by little, some of the small things become bigger things. They become more important. They maybe not more important, but you start to notice them more. Just to do some basic things from this person to that person, and you take it for granted that, oh, we just go do tours in this country and that country, and now you think, well, I could catch something. And at the same time, I don't want to completely do something different or not do anything because of it. So I'm kind of caught in the middle of it. So I'm still kind of,
Processing it all.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
kind of going through it. I don't have a personal answer for myself to it. It's, you kind of,
Yeah. Working your
yeah,
way through. I keep
yeah,
saying that I hope that we rise from the ashes of all kinder, more empathetic, more collaborative, less divisive, and you know, just more empathetic towards one another. That having gone through all of this, something that you think could only be scripted by Rod Serling of the Twilight Zone, George Lucas, Stephen King, or Steven Spielberg, something as epic as what we've experienced in all these different levels, that we would want to naturally be more kinder, empathetic, and that's
Right.
just my way anyway. I like to be that way and inspire people to work in that direction like you do. You just hope that that would be some of the result of what we've all been witnessing and living, you
Yeah.
know?
Don't quite know what's over the hillside, and
Right.
reading books from people from different conferences I go to. A guy named Leary, he's a really, really motivational speaker. We had a great talk with each other, and just started looking at different things a little bit differently. I like to go to conferences and meet people and find a book that they wrote, and I like to go away with a new book to read. And go into a bookstore and just go to a stranger and say, "What's your favorite book you ever read?"
Right.
And you don't know the person, you don't know anything. So no, I'm not a stalker, I'm not crazy or anything. But in order to get a great book in a genre that you have nothing to do with it, and this person you don't know, but anybody that has their favorite book is
Yeah.
probably a great book.
Yes. Right.
And you can
Right.
check out something else that you have no connection to it. At least you think you don't.
Right.
Like
Exactly.
this, oh, try that book. And you would never, you don't know the author, you don't know what the book is about, you don't know this person that, suggested that you do it. And because every person has a hit song in them somewhere. And we just need to be a lot, I agree with you. We have to be a lot more empathetic with each other, and not just with each other, but from things, land, air,
The planet, nature. Yeah. Yeah.
It's not here for our little gymnasium to
Right. Just our pleasure. Right.
yeah. So this is it. This is home. This is, I mean, what are we doing? Why are we tearing our home up? Somebody told me that, what do you mean climate change? Or what does that mean? Oh, that's easy. Just go in your house. If you have a house, if you're lucky enough to have a house, or if you're in an apartment, even closer to the next person, something like that. Close all the windows up. Don't take the trash out. Don't do anything. Just stay in the house like that, and you'll see. That's what climate change is going to be like. It's going to get hot. You're going to get infected with something. You're going to be doing this. Just close everything down, and that's what the pollution does. It stops the thing that air can't go up through it, because we got so much dirt in the air that it can't go anywhere. So it heats up. It comes back down on us. Do the same thing at your house. Do your own experiment. You'll find out what it is. Why are we doing that? You wouldn't do that in your house, in your apartment. You wouldn't do that, but we do it to the planet.
Yeah. Right. I know. All the dumping in the ocean over the years that's happened and all that.
Nuclear waste in the ocean? What?
Isn't that crazy?
That's the garbage dump? The ocean?
Oh, I know, it's crazy. Would you have you ever thought about writing a book about, your career, your experiences, if people approached you about doing that?
Yeah, people have approached me about it, and I haven't been convinced yet that
Still living it, still doing it, right?
yeah, and I don't think it's enough to just write about a career or something, unless it can be tied into the planet. And until I can connect those things, because they touch each other.
And motivating other people and inspiring others.
Yeah, if I can bring all of that together, then maybe I would take a shot at writing a book, but not just because of a career or things like that. I mean, that's wonderful, and that's great, but it has to be part of a planetary citizen, not just a musical thing. Or
right. I did this, I was on this show, I did all the usual stuff, right?
Yeah.
Celebrity side of it. That's true. Yeah, when you think about it, it's a beautiful way to want to approach something like that. Oftentimes you look back at some of the things that you've done, and you look at this career that has just taken you in so many different directions. What would What would the Kevin of today say to that Kevin?
Um, wow, that's a great question. Um, I don't really know. I was so overwhelmed with music that I didn't connect it enough. But I was on my way to it. Maybe that's where I've gotten to now. That I mean, all the books I was reading while I was learning music, and I was one time I had a band, and we all read the same books at the same time when we were on tour, and we all had the same dreams when we were on airplanes and things like that. After and maybe that was just the incremental steps to get to. I don't think I'm going to get to the next level musically until I get to the next level of embracing ocean life, or really understanding what climate change is doing, what we've done to it, what's the reality of this. It's not a joke. It's not just hugging trees. It's not a cliche. It's what we've done. And so I don't know what I would tell myself from being that young, other than
It'll all work out. Just stick with it. Don't give in. Don't give up.
I mean, you don't give up because you love what you're doing.
Right.
So you just keep doing it. It's not, and then the ambition thing jumps in, and you just like, wow, because you're part of society, and part of society is what you do in marketing and all of that.
Mm-hmm.
It's, I guess I would say, um, don't pull yourself away from the planet that birthed you.
That's true. That's so important. Right. That's really important. It sounds like you're really you've got a mission going, sort of like a mission statement, which is a beautiful thing. This has really been an extraordinary conversation. Some laughs in there, memories, looking at some new cool things you're working on. A lot of the viewers, we thank them for all their comments. They've been commenting throughout the show. We've been sprinkling some of those on as well. And I hope the show met whatever expectations you had, and you enjoyed the time with me, Kevin, as much as I absolutely have with you. It was definitely worth, plugging everything in and doing everything that we did.
We made it.
We made it. Yes, we did it. I know you were excited to come on. I was excited to have you on. And like I said, everybody, we will definitely keep the porch light on for you. You're welcome back to the Jim Master Show, of course, anytime. And I hope whether you're back on the East Coast or I'm on a TV shoot or something on the West Coast, we maybe get together, break bread. That would be absolutely fantastic. But this really was, this was,
love to do that. Yeah.
This was really something special. And I know the viewers have thoroughly enjoyed it. Like they're saying here, great show tonight. And always enjoyed. Let's see, more coming in. Thanks for this entertaining conversation. Music really does connect us all. Your philosophy of life. Enjoyed all the stories and music. What a fantastic career. Keep on keeping on. Thanks, gang, for all these great comments that you guys have been posting throughout the show. It's really beautiful stuff. Maureen says in Arizona, Kevin, you're a breath of fresh air. You have such an amazing career, yet remain so humble. You, sir, are a wonderful human. Nice. I
love that. Thank you.
Good way to, yeah.
Human, yes.
Any final words about our conversation, about the show, or about anything you wanted to share, Kevin? Again, truly an absolute pleasure to have you on the show.
Well, first, thanks for thinking of me and inviting me to the show. Number one, I really appreciate that. And it's been a wonderful conversation. I just feel like, we're just hanging out and we get to talk. We go from this to that, but it's still within the same sphere of, saying some things that hopefully people can connect with. So all of it just felt good. And the rest of my evening is just going to be relaxed and it's like, wow, that was really cool to be a part of it. And I appreciate you being patient with the
technical things that, we had to go through, but we stayed in it. We stayed cool. We just kept going, which is part of what we have to do as people. You just don't kick it to the curb. Let's just keep going. And it makes it feel so well worth going through that. And when what we did and what people do in life, you just keep doing it. And I love the conversation that we had. And when you brought up the ocean, I said, "Whoa, that's
Triggered
really
a few things, right?"
Yeah, it's my next door is definitely knocking on the door of the ocean. Once I figure out how to knock on the door of ocean,
Right.
once I figure that
Just dive right in.
So it's been wonderful to do it, and I appreciate the people that have listened and were patient with it, and for their comments and everything.
Yeah, all the JMS lovities, we call them. The lovities were commenting, and they loved it. They had some beautiful words that they were sharing, and absolutely cool stuff. I think somebody did ask one question that when you were music director for the Tonight Show, did you have free reign to pretty much do what you wanted to do musically, or were there certain things you had to follow? Or I think it was a question somebody had earlier.
All right, that's a really good question, and I'd never thought of it that way. I just thought of what would contribute to the show.
Right.
What can we do musically that can be part of the glue that holds this happening? The people that come out and walk over to to Jay, and they sit on the panel and they talk, and going to commercial, we play that, and coming back. So I want to make music that when we come back from commercial, we energize the audience. So if somebody is talking about a situation they're going through, whether it was funny, whether it was something real, something they just lost or whatever, that we energize the people and they give that energy back to the show. So anything that can help the show be better, that's the music that I wanted to pick. It wasn't about what I wanted, it's what I thought would be the best for the show. You can always do a gig somewhere, you can always take a tour somewhere if you can do that, or you just jam with other musicians. You can play music all over the place. But I wasn't trying to prove that we can play this music or that music. What I wanted to do was come up with something that helps the show out, that builds the show and makes it better and better.
That's a terrific answer for one of our lovely viewers that was watching. Somebody else, I think, had something quick they wanted to say. I think he went to Berklee as well, and Kurt Stacy watching. Kevin, do you remember Pat Pattison and the songwriting department at Berklee? Barry Smith was my bass instructor. Jimmy Kachulis was another instructor that was there for a while. Any of those names ring a bell?
Yes, they do. Pat Pattison. Oh God, something happened with me. It was really cool. I liked him. I really did.
Thanks for the question, Kurt. We appreciate that.
Yeah, I do. And I'm still friends with a lot of the teachers at Berklee. Even Bill Pierce, who's done a lot of records with me.
He's really?
The woodwind department at Berklee. We're great friends. And my guitar teacher at Berklee, we're still friends. I just spoke with him maybe 3 weeks ago.
Wow.
And we talk about things. And mostly what we talked about was, he would say, go to the bookstore and get this book, and pick one book for yourself and come back. I'll read yours and you read mine, and then we'll talk about it. And you can play whatever it is that you practiced all week, because you practice all the time. It's not about music. It's about how you feel about music, how you feel about things. So that was the teacher that I had, John Amaral, at Berklee. And we're friends to this day, and we still have very good conversations and things like that. So yeah. The people that you become close to, not just the musicians, but the teachers and this and that. And you're at an age where you're still trying to find yourself through, you're 18, you're 19, you're 20, 21, or whatever. So all of that stuff is seeing different parts of the planet, people from different countries that you see in college. So a lot of things come from that. It's not just about the scales in the chords.
Exactly right. Yeah. Great questions, gang. And thanks for, being a part of the show. I'm very communal and also an interactive host. I always like to feed off the energy of people, like I know you do too. Shiloh Shark says, so sweet. Thank you very much, Shiloh Shark, watching with everybody watching around the world. And
Nice.
cool stuff. Yeah, lots of levity on the Jim Masters Show Live. This was fantastic, my friend. And the phone held out.
It did. Unbelievable, right?
The computer gave up, but your phone held out. It's good. It's like
put the phone on and wait a minute.
They don't know that it was that in the beginning what we had to do to make it work, gang. And again, he and I are professionals. We've been through these things before, but this is crazy. He had to have his PC on, his laptop, the computer, the main computer on for the video, but the phone on for the audio, and then it was going back and forth, and then eventually the phone became the savior.
It did. And now
see, if you never give up and you just take, you take the seed and you plant it and you nurture it, look what happens if you stick with it.
That's it. I would have never guessed that the phone is plugged into the little charger.
You wouldn't think that they would have such a great picture and video quality. And I've always you've been in, you're doing music, you're doing television, everything. I've had a lot of experiences on television, radio, and stage stuff where things have gone wrong, things have happened that have been totally out of left field. And a lot of people freeze, they get scared, they run out of the room, they yell, they flip out because this is happening. For me, I mean, I've had situations where I've been on television live where the co-host had to be pulled away and I'm on for like 45 minutes just talking to camera, and there's nothing, they can't go to anything else because the tape jammed in master control, and I had to just keep talking and vamping and talking to the viewers. It was amazing. It actually happened to me on PBS, public television. And I love stuff like that because to me, it's a challenge. It's like when things aren't going right, it actually makes it a little bit exciting, which is one of the reasons why I like to do stuff live, because there's just that element of anything can happen and what do you do with it? And there's the energy of live. You know that as a performer yourself. So that something where the thing wasn't working and can't hear this, it's like, you know what? There, with everything else that's going on in the world right now, this is, we'll make this happen. He knows what to do. He's, he knows what to do. And we worked it out and it was perfect.
It came out so good.
Isn't it amazing?
It is. It's just great to hang with you too, man. It's really, really nice. And I hope we bump into each other. We should have dinner. We should hang or something, That
would be awesome. That would be fantastic. Yeah, I'm glad. Cool. There's a reason why people meet and people are put together. I really do believe that. And this really has been a true treat and really a fantastic conversation. You be well. Keep making all the music. Enjoy You Bet Your Life. We'll be looking for you on Fox TV for that. Congratulations on co-hosting a game show. I mean, how cool is that, huh?
I don't know where did that come from, but now I'm really into it. I want to get better and better at it.
I hope when you go back to visit the family in Philadelphia that, they at least treat you to a cheesesteak or something with all these accomplishments, right? I mean, they gotta at least treat you to a cheesesteak or a hoagie or something, right?
Back to Philly. There you go.
Back to Philadelphia.
Nice. And keep doing what you're doing and inviting people to come on the show, man. Keep doing what you're doing. It's wonderful. It's really, it makes you feel open enough to say things that you really feel. So that's great.
And I appreciate that. Spread the word about our series. If there's other folks you think would like to pop on, Kevin, certainly let them know. Everybody's welcome from all backgrounds of living.
Okay, right? Great idea.
Yeah, love to have them on. And you be well. I hope you had supper already. Did you eat yet?
I'm getting ready to really talk some food right now.
You're gonna dive in. You're gonna dive in. We really, I tell you, this was epic. Here on the East Coast, it's about 20 after 11.
Wow.
And the viewers are still with us. They love it. They are loyal lovities.
Oh, thanks everyone.
Yeah.
Thank you.
If anybody missed this episode or you would like to see it again, gang, it's available on our YouTube channel with over 700 other episodes we've done, 720.
Wow.
On our YouTube channel, Jim Masters TV. You can see this episode again and all the others, so check that out. Kevin, you be well, my friend. We'll stay in touch. This is truly an honor and a pleasure, and thanks for all the time, your wit and wisdom, and the great stories, and all the levity. This was fantastic.
Oh, my pleasure. Absolutely my pleasure. And thanks for having me.
You are welcome. You are welcome. You take care.
All right, you too. Stay safe.
You too. Absolutely. Right. Cheers. Have a good night.
You too.
Bye-bye now. Was that not amazing? That was so cool. The one and only Kevin Eubanks. Yes, joining us here on the Jim Master Show Live. This was really a very, very epic, special presentation. Again, if you guys only knew what we had to go through to make it happen, because in the beginning, he couldn't hear me and I couldn't hear him. So there was something happening on his end with the audio. So we were chatting on our cell phones, talking to each other, on our cells, and we're trying to work it through and work it out because, we know we have the live viewers. And he was very excited to come on the show as a guest, which I really am honored by and I appreciate. And I'm very excited to have him on because I've always admired his work and his personality. So he and I were just like, can you hear me on the phone? No, I can't hear you on this. We'll switch from the computer to the phone. Well, I can see you, but I can't hear you. It was hilarious. And sometimes that's happened actually with some of the guests. It just, it's technology gets crazy sometimes. But wow, he stuck to his guns. I stuck to my guns. We were resilient. We powered through, and look what happened. A really, really fantastic conversation, one for the record books, with not only a spectacular guitarist and musician who started out first with the violin, as did I. He at age 7, me at age 13, and then just creating this epic career. And all these wonderful opportunities. But he's also got this great outlook on life, gang, doesn't he? He has this wonderful outlook on life about what it's all about and what, how we should treat each other, and empathy and kindness, and enjoy the music and enjoy the ride. That's really a beautiful way to be and a beautiful way to live, especially with all the craziness that goes on in life. Life is short. Life is precious. Life is unpredictable. We've mentioned that. I've mentioned that on almost every episode of our series, how unpredictable, how ever-changing life can be. And here you have somebody who's been doing this for some 40 years plus, still loves what he does, even with all the changes, the ins and outs. Nothing is always the same. Things change, things morph, things grow. And it just seems like he's very grounded, which is really great. And that starts with his family back home in Philadelphia. His family really, a really important foundation early on, and supporting him and rooting him on, and, just being very excited about some of the things that were happening in his life. And he's just had an opportunity to enjoy life in many different ways to the fullest. But it does sound like he's got lots of things that he wants to do and whatever, but he's letting it flow. You know what I mean? He's letting it flow. He's not necessarily directing all of it. He's allowing it to be directed, by whatever source that may be, whatever energy. Kevin Eubanks, acclaimed guitarist, prolific composer, TV personality, and so much more. I loved talking, being a broadcaster myself and TV host and all the rest. I loved talking about the TV side, of course, of his epic career with Jay Leno. The Tonight Show. Yeah. And again, don't forget to check out all the places where you can find music, Spotify and Amazon, of course, his website as well. And check them out together on You Bet Your Life, the new game show that is a hit. It really is a hit. And it plays off the original Groucho Marx game show you may remember, sort of talk game show that it was, and really, really cool stuff if you haven't seen it. He appears as the co-host on Fox's first run nationally syndicated comedy game show. So it's not just the game television show, there's comedy in it as well. You Bet Your Life, you're reuniting with host Jay Leno. It premiered back in fall of 2021. He composed, as he mentioned on this episode of the Jim Master Show, he composed the theme music for the hit show, You Bet Your Life, which is seen in the top 100 markets across the country, plus Canada as well. And it was recently picked up for season 2 for the 2022-2023 television season, which is something when you are in television, you want to hear. You definitely want to hear when something is going to be renewed, continued, picked up. So congratulations to Kevin Eubanks and Jay Leno for not only the run with the Tonight Show, but also for this series as well, where they do have a lot of fun together. Like I said, it's a mix of comedy and game show. And it's a new thing for Kevin too, being a co-host. He's not doing the guitar there, but he does it everywhere else. And you guys are great. Linda says, thank you, Kevin. Thank you for sharing with us. You are very welcome. Christine in North Carolina says, Jim, thanks for this fun evening with Kevin. And so happy the show could go on. Loved Kevin's thinking on life and all that he shared. Another great episode. Thank you, Christine. Loved doing this episode too for all of you. Yeah, we were trying. It was amazing. I mean, we started like an hour, I think it was about an hour past, the premiere time, the time that it was promoted, but we stuck with it. And it was fantastic. I loved every second of it. And we'll be chatting afterwards too, Kevin and I, and probably go to dinner. Thank you, Jim, for what you do. Really enjoyed this. Thank you, Linda Johnson. I appreciate that as well. And, I want to tell you, we have, who's coming up on Monday? Legendary singer Melba Moore. Yes, the one and only Melba Moore is joining us on the Jim Masters Show Live. Yes, she's coming on the show this Monday. Excited about that. We're working on that episode now. Tomorrow, another great talent, actor Will Roberts. Yeah, he's starring in a lot of great TV shows and productions. Actor, cowboy, dancer, author, film and TV weapons expert, holder of 2 Guinness World Records. We're going to tell you what those are tomorrow on the Jim Masters Show Live. We also have Cynthia Shaw, extraordinary actress, singer, pianist. They call her a cross between Stockard Channing and Susan Sarandon, and a hurricane wrapped in a well-wrapped package. Cynthia Shaw is with us on Saturday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. Then on Sunday, I know, no rest for the weary in this business. We have somebody really amazing who's going to be with us. Madeline Stone is going to be with us, and she has been on albums that have been Grammy winning. She has worked with, Wilson Phillips. That's just one. Neil Diamond. I won't give it all away, but she has sold over 25 million albums. She's a prolific songwriter and a creative music director, an educator, but she's a songwriter, and she's been doing this for years. She has worked with everybody you can think of. She's written songs for just about almost every genre of music. She is incredible. Madeline Stone, the incomparable Madeline Stone. If you have listened to music in the last many years, you've heard music from Madeline Stone. And we're going to share some of that with you on the Jim Master Show. That's going to be on Sunday. We're going to do an afternoon show on Sunday. That's going to be 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific with Madeline Stone, incomparable songwriter, legendary songwriter, Dove Award winner, and so much more. She's going to be with us on Sunday for an afternoon episode. For those that are watching live, Otherwise, you can see all these in the archives on our channel. Last night, it was a hoot and holler with Barbara Brighton, legendary comedian, actress, and singer. If you didn't see that episode, check it out. That was last night on our show, and we had so much fun. She came to us live and direct from Las Vegas, and it was a hoot and a holler, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. We thank Kevin Eubanks for stopping by. He had a real good time with us, and we had an epic time with him and with all of you. My name is Jim Masters. The name of the show is the Jim Masters Show Live Entertainment Lifestyle Variety Talk Show Series. We're always having a good time with all of you, and we love when you guys are here with us. Our YouTube channel is Jim Masters TV. If you haven't yet, boy, would we love it if you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Doesn't cost anything when you subscribe to the YouTube channel. That really helps us out. Just click this button you see there on the screen. You actually see it on the bottom of the screen too during the show. If you look at the bottom right-hand corner of our screen right now, you see it says subscribe there. If you don't see that, just look for it right on our YouTube channel. You see that, and that helps us out. It also lets us know you want to be a part of our family here of great viewers who support what we do. There's no cost to do that, but it helps us grow and continue to grow when you subscribe to our YouTube channel. And also click the notification bell so you never miss any of the episodes. You'll receive an alert from us. And if you enjoyed this, truly, leave a comment for us on our YouTube channel. That helps our show grow. That helps more viewers see these episodes. YouTube likes to take the episodes and sees all the engagement, and then they blast these episodes out even further. Meaning when you leave a comment on our YouTube channel for us, YouTube actually opens up the floodgates for more people to see these episodes. So that's why we say definitely drop a comment on the YouTube channel. Let us know how much you enjoy our series, what you enjoy about this episode or any of them, and give us a thumbs up like. That helps us too. Plus, we appreciate it. We appreciate all who do that and who have been doing it. You guys mean the world to us here. So this was terrific and really, really nice. Let's take a look at some of the comments before we do wrap up. So much to look forward to here. I love the archives also. Thank you, Linda. The archives are there for all of you to enjoy. The live is here as well. And heading to Vegas tomorrow to see John Lennon. Terrific. Yes. Oh, absolutely. Fantastic. Yes, she was with us as well. Lovity is taking over Vegas. That's cool. Safe travels. Safe travels. Yeah, I love this. Maureen says, this was a wonderful conversation. Kevin is truly an inspiration with his positive outlook on life and an obvious compassion for everyone, whether he knows them or not. Thank you for a fabulous evening. The pleasure is all mine, Maureen. And today is the 2-year mark of being a Lovity. So yeah, we started our show in April of 2020. This is now July 2022. Congratulations. Happy anniversary to you. Happy anniversary to you. Nice. Yeah, I know you guys have asked me to sing more, and I've sort of strayed from that, right? We used to sing a lot more on this show. We're going to not just during holiday time. We're going to have to do that a lot more. You started watching Jameis live shows with you for the first time on July 14th, 2020. And here we are over 700 episodes later. Lots of wonderful times. Absolutely. You know, we've been together a long time, gang, haven't we? 2 years. We've been through pandemics and all the inflation and what's going on overseas and car prices through the roof. And just, we have been, you and I, host and Lovity family, have been together through a lot of thick and thin in just the amount of time we've been together with all these shows. And it continues to be terrific. Spread the word. Tell everybody you know about our series. That really does help us. Amazing guests that come in from Broadway, Hollywood, television, film, music, stage, culinary arts, sports, comedy, inspiration, plus lots of surprises, and always acknowledging and welcoming all of you to come for the ride on the JMS Lovity train. All right, gang, we're going to wrap. This was really a terrific show. 2 hours and 35 minutes. Woo! But, you know, it was worth it, especially with all of what we had to go through to make it happen. We wanted to give you a good show. We always work hard behind the scenes. If you'd like to support what we're doing on YouTube, on every episode, there's a little heart icon. It's called Super Thanks. You can click that. That helps support all of what we're doing here, the time, the content, the guests. All the preparation is intensive beforehand doing a show like this. It's expensive to do. There's just all these different elements because we wanted to shine. We don't want to just slap stuff together. We want to have a really good broadcast, like a television series, here for all of you. You're very welcome, Maureen. And through thick and thin, Lovity wins every time. There's nothing stronger than the Lovity connection. You're right. Absolutely. That is spot on. Maureen and Linda as well. Good stuff. All right, gang. As you guys know, we do not say goodbye around here. We say see you later. We say ciao, cheers, hasta la vista. We say sayonara and shalom and ciao and slancha, everything else we can think of, moilu. And be well. Take care of one another. Love one another. And, support the things you enjoy. If you enjoy what we're doing here at the Jim Master Show Live, let us know. We love that. Continue to follow us. You can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Jim Masters TV. And our channel is Jim Masters TV, where we house all these episodes of the Jim Master Show Live. Yes, right there. When you see that, you know you're going to have a good time and learn something too and be inspired on our series. All right, we're going to scoot out. For those watching live, we'll see you on the next one. We'll be back tomorrow. For those who are watching this Memorex, you're watching it archived, stay right there. Another episode on our YouTube channel comes up for you in just mere seconds. Thanks, gang, for all the comments, all the lovity. I still see lots of lovity coming in here, lots of comments coming in. We really appreciate that. We thank all of you. You too, Linda. You be well. We'll see you on the next one. All the viewers, the lovely viewers, like to greet each other and wish each other well in our JMS live chat room. You can do that when you subscribe to a YouTube channel. You can chat in our live chat room when the show is live. Otherwise, do leave a comment for us on the channel under the episodes. We would really appreciate that. Thanks for being with us, gang. And thanks one more time to Kevin Eubanks. Awesome having him here on the show. We'll see you again on the next one. Right here, I'll be waiting for you on the Jim Master Show Live. Take care, gang. Love one another. Be good to one another. And be good to yourself. We love you all. Take care and cheers.